This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Bimini placed on a curfew as new restrictions are issued. The government borrowing vaccine doses as supplies run low. And at the opening of the Bahama Water Park, the Prime Minister says the Bahamas is coming back. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, July 2nd, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll be talking with winners of the Laws of Life essay competition. We've got the winners with us, and they'll be reading parts of their winning essays this morning for us. And later in Morning Blend Business, in light of the Bill Cosby situation, we're going to be talking about sexual harassment and more in the workplace, and how businesses are dealing with these issues of people in important positions influencing or trying to influence the behavior of their employees. It's all straight ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight. The latest breaking news from while we're sleeping at the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight following a surge in new COVID-19 cases on Bimini, a 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew has been implemented on the island, along with the reintroduction of a number of restrictions in an effort to curb the spread of the virus. The new measures came into effect yesterday in accordance with the Emergency Powers COVID-19 Pandemic Management and Recovery No. 2 Amendment No. 2 Order. The order also prohibits social gatherings and the operation of bars on Bimini. Groups visiting beaches or in parks are limited to a maximum of 5 people. Funerals are restricted to graveside-only services with a maximum of 10 people in attendance, not including officiants and funeral service workers. Weddings are also permitted to take place with a maximum of 10 people in attendance. However, wedding receptions are prohibited on the island. According to the order, church services may be held between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. in accordance with physical distancing and other health protocols. After months of low numbers, Bimini recorded 11 new COVID cases on Sunday, with health officials attributing it to a cluster linked to her. 6 new COVID cases were reported on the island on Monday and 7 on Tuesday. According to the emergency order, hotel and cruise ship guests visiting Bimini will now be required to remain on the premises of the hotel or cruise ship during the curfew period. West Grand Bahama and Bimini MP Pakeisha Parker Edgecombe saying that restrictions are necessary to get a handle on the uptick in cases. Due to the delay in the third tranche of vaccines in the country, the government has borrowed additional doses from at least one Caribbean country. That's according to two senior government officials. Both officials, who did not wish to be identified, telling the National Guardian the Bahamas will repay those countries when its third tranche of vaccines through COVAX arrives later this month. But it's unclear how many additional doses were secured and how many vaccines the country now has in stock. The Bahamas received 87,200 doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. 20,000 of those were donated by the Indian government, and the remaining were secured through the COVAX facility. Prime Minister Dr. Jimenez declaring that the Bahamas is coming back as he participated in the ribbon-cutting ceremony for Bahamar's new $200 million luxury water park. Jimenez saying the water park's opening is a powerful signal of the revival of the country and that Bahamar is helping to lead that recovery. Meanwhile, Bahamar President Graham Davis says that over 3,500 of the resort's employees have returned to work after being furloughed when the property was closed in March 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Davis also saying that nearly 1,000 of Bahamar's employees are fully vaccinated, but they are encouraging the others to get vaccinated as well. Policymakers will ultimately decide who gets land in the new subdivision in western New Providence geared toward young professionals, not the committee established by the government. That's according to the guidance notes for the Prospect Ridge development released yesterday. The notes outlining the details for the criteria and the selection process of candidates for the government service lots. The document says that once the categorizing, verification, and weighting processes are complete, the Committee for the Development of Communities for Young Professionals will compile a list of successful candidates based on the criteria and submit to policymakers for final approval. Once applicants are approved by policymakers and all government regulatory requirements have been met as it relates to the subdivision, they'll be contacted by the Office of the Prime Minister for further steps with regards to lot selection, payment, and official transfer of ownership. The application process started yesterday and will remain open for 6 weeks. And a 40-year-old American tourist granted an absolute discharge after he admitted to showing a woman his private parts. The man was arrested on June 29th after the resident of Old Fort Bay complained. He pleaded guilty to indecent exposure at his arraignment before Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt yesterday. The Miami Beach resident was on a dock at the back of the woman's home waiting to go on a jet ski. We're told as he waited for friends, he spoke to the woman who claimed she was sexually deprived. The woman also said that she liked pornography. The man said the woman wanted to see his private, so he exposed himself. Overseas, the World Health Organization saying Thursday that any COVID-19 vaccines it has authorized for emergency use should be recognized by countries as they open up their borders to inoculated travelers. The move could challenge Western countries to broaden their acceptance of two apparently less effective Chinese vaccines, which the UN Health Agency has licensed, but most North American and European countries have not. In addition to vaccines by Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna, AstraZeneca, and Johnson & Johnson, the WHO has also given the green light to two Chinese vaccines by Sinovac and Sinopharm. In its aim to restore travel across Europe, the European Union said in May that it would only recognize people as vaccinated if they had received shots licensed by the European Medicines Agency, although it's up to individual countries if they wish to let in travelers who've received other vaccines, including Russia's Sputnik. The EU drug regulator is currently considering licensing China's Sinovac vaccine, but there is no timeline on a decision. In sports, under strict COVID-19 guidelines and protocols, the Tokyo Olympic Games still going on, and Team Bahamas is set to be the Bahamas Olympic Committee, the BOC, ratifying a 14-member team yesterday, 12 in athletics and 2 in swimming. They'll all contest the games in 3 weeks' time. The Olympics set for July 23rd through August 8th. In athletics, the team members include Shanae Miller-Weibo, Anthony Strachan, and Stephen Gardner, and many others. You can read the whole list in today's Guardian Sports section. And overseas from the NBA, even without two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Milwaukee Bucks figured out a way to end their recent habit of slow starts. Now they're just one win away from finishing off the Atlanta Hawks and earning their first NBA Finals berth in nearly half a century. Brook Lopez scoring a playoff career-high 33 points to lead a balanced attack, and the Bucks never trailed in a 123-112 victory over the Hawks Thursday night, giving them, again, a 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. They will play Bahamian DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns in the NBA Finals. That's sports. And that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got low to mid-level troughing combined with streaming tropical moisture that will continue to support unsettled weather over the northwest and central Bahamas. Boaters and residents should remain alert for possible waterspout or tornado activity. Residents should take extra precaution due to flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas during heavy or prolonged rainfall events. Beachgoers should exercise caution along eastern and southern shorelines due to the risk of rip currents and rough surf. For all areas today, forecast calls for cloudy to occasionally overcast, warm, and humid conditions, showers, rain, and isolated thunderstorms in the northwest and central islands. Partly cloudy, hot, and humid with a chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms in the southeastern Bahamas. Now, small craft caution is in effect for boaters in the central Bahamas and an advisory in the southeast Bahamas. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots in the northwestern islands, east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots in the central islands, 15 to 25 knots in the southeastern Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the northwest Bahamas, 4 to 6 feet in the central islands, and 5 to 8 feet in the southeast Bahamas. Temperature-wise right now, 77 in New Providence, light rain in some parts of the island, 76 in Freeport. Look for highs getting to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook for your weekend and a look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Email us morningblend@nasguard.com, or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Coming up this morning, more weather and traffic. In a few minutes, we're going to be talking with the winners of the Laws of Life essay competition. We told you about this a few months back, and the winners in the, I think it's five categories. They're going to be here. They're going to read portions of the essays for us, and looking forward to that discussion and hearing those essays this morning. Then later in Morning Blend Business, we're talking about sexual harassment and more in the workplace, and how companies are navigating, or should be navigating, these issues. That's coming up. A lot to get to this morning, but let's begin with what's in the news. And we've got Stephen Hanna with us this morning. Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us as always.
What's up?
Right here. Hope you're doing well.
I'm good.
You sound very excited. Thank you very much. All right.
Oh wow.
Yes.
I try to tone it down.
We can tell. So let's see. Should we do this now? Let me get this out of the way. I know people have been very, very, very concerned about it and asking questions all the time. But hey, I did it. I finally got my first dose, my first vaccine yesterday, and here I am doing the show, and didn't have any issues. Little tiny soreness at the injection site.
Congratulations.
Well, hey, thank you very much. Yeah. So here we go. So all of you are asking all the time, every day, every show, when are you going to get doing? All right, so here we go.
Hey, are you going to tell them when you poop now?
Hey, they don't ask that, but they ask me every day about when you're getting the vaccine. So there you go, folks. Okay. One down, one more to go. Now, this is some interesting stuff, though. We're going to get into some COVID stuff in a bit, but you've got to read this letter in The Guardian. This is quite something. There are going to be some things that I don't know if people have thought about it, but, and this is from Dr. Cy Pierre, and I'm telling you, pick up today's Guardian and read this letter. That's all I'm going to say about that one. But
you're not going to give us like a trailer or a summary, like a little heads up as to what it's about?
Well, I'll tell you what the headline is. COVID vaccination, freedom of choice. That's what the headline is. But that is not going to be telling you half of what you need, or even a quarter of what you need to prepare yourself for to read this. But it is quite an interesting read. And it's going to make a lot of people think. So, again, today's National Guardian. You don't want to miss it. All right. This was also interesting. We just read this in the overnight. The WHO encouraging countries to approve some of the vaccines that are made in other countries, like the Chinese vaccine. There's a couple of those, right? And we heard that yesterday from the new Chinese ambassador as well, saying that, hey, this is approved by the WHO, and if you're having a vaccine shortage, what's the issue? What's the big deal? It is approved. And as she said, we've heard that from our own doctors. The best vaccine is the one that you can get. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's some powerful advertising there.
Hey. Well, all right. So did you know this though? So in this report from the AP, Associated Press, the EU said in May that it would only recognize people as vaccinated if they'd received shots licensed by the European Medicines Agency. Right? Although it's up to individual countries. That's fine. But the EU drug regulator is currently considering licensing China's Sinovac vaccine, but there is no timeline on a decision. This part. It also does not recognize versions of the AstraZeneca vaccine that were made in India, effectively barring travel for people in developing countries who receive doses via the UN-backed initiative known as COVAX.
Okay.
Huh. Did you know that?
Did I know that the European Union would find some way to manipulate something so that they could further their...
That's not what I asked you. Did you know that
racist agenda? Did I know which part?
That
about the Indian vaccine?
Yes, about the Indian COVAX.
That it exists?
Stephen. That they were barring people for traveling to Europe.
No, I didn't know that they were doing that, but I'm saying like...
Or that it doesn't recognize people who have taken that one.
But once again, like so every sovereign territory is allowed to regulate what is accepted or what is regulated or what is legal inside their territory. You know what I mean? So it's like if the fact that they are saying a generic drug or a generic medication or vaccine or however you wish to term it is not recognized in their country, even though it's a generic version of something that is accepted in their country, then this is a situation of we don't want persons who only can afford that to be in our country.
All right. Now, you're using some very interesting words. Did you know that this was a generic version? We thought it was just the version that was manufactured because it can't all be manufactured in one place. Manufactured, licensed, and manufactured.
Sorry, I apologize.
That's a very serious word, and you might actually be right. And that is one of the concerns that everybody's had, right? What is
but generic doesn't mean bad.
Yeah. But we don't have time for generics when we're dealing with this thing, right? This is not, no.
That's the thing, right? The reason why something could be generic, the reason why generic stuff is cheaper is because the cost of labor is cheaper and you don't put the name on it. It's supposed to be the exact same active ingredients. Because like there are tons of things that we get that is a generic version of it. I buy generic ibuprofen, whereas like I don't think that this is a company like that's like I mean I don't think this is like a big brand that's making it.
You're fully aware that you're doing that.
Yeah,
you are fully aware that you're doing that.
I thought we were fully aware. That's why it had a weird name.
It doesn't have a weird name.
Well,
we're purchasing it through the COVAX facility.
And this is called COVAX.
No. It's AstraZeneca. We're purchasing it through the COVAX facility. All right?
Okay.
So...
That sounds like when something is like, this is satellite powered by something else. It's like, yeah, okay. But I mean, that's fine. I don't have an issue with it. They're free to do whatever they want to do. It doesn't give me pause in any way.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't give me any more pause than anything else would give. At the end of the day, it's like the big drug companies like Johnson & Johnson are constantly being sued because the baby powder, not the baby powder, the almond powder, the talcum powder apparently was giving people cancer for years. And all these other, their shampoo is causing people to lose their hair.
I don't know why you're introducing these. Why are you talking about that?
No, I'm just saying, like, big companies who aren't generic and who are developing vaccines are always getting in trouble for regular things that they can't get right. They can't get shampoo and baby powder right. But then we take in India to task because they copied somebody's vaccine.
Don't say it like that. That's not what happened. No, okay. Let's
Sorry, they manufactured, not copied. They manufactured somebody's vaccine.
You're making it worse. Okay, let's move on. Just thought that was interesting. The EU, they ain't nobody friend. As everybody, right? Let us be clear about that.
Right.
They are trying to... The countries, they already subjugated. The countries they already raped and pillaged. They're furthering their to destroy the rest of the world. But anyway, let's move on. Well, sort of move on, because this is also important. This is in today's Nassau Guardian. Due to the delay in the third tranche of vaccines in the Bahamas, the government has borrowed additional doses from at least one Caribbean country.
How do you borrow doses?
That's a very good question. That's according to two senior government officials were telling the Nassau Guardian. Both officials, who did not wish to be identified, said the Bahamas will repay those countries when its third tranche of vaccines through COVAX arrives later this month. But it's unclear how many additional doses were secured and how many vaccines the country now has in stock. The Bahamas received 87,200 doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, 20,000 of those donated by the Indian government, and the remaining secured through the COVAX facility. On Sunday, the government said that 91,067 doses of the vaccine were administered in the country. This week, the government reduced the number of vaccine on New Providence and their operating hours. Both Prime Minister Dr. Briminus and Minister of Health Robert Wells have evaded questions on the issue. An official from the National COVID-19 Vaccine Consultative Committee yesterday declined to comment on the matter as well. The last Minister of Health press conference was held way back in April 20th. Now only Loyola Hall and Church of God of Prophecy on East Street are administering shots on New Providence. On Tuesday, an official at the Church of God told the Nassau Guardian that the site will have to close by the end of the week because apparently in the country, this is a quote, apparently in the country we are running low on vaccines. Mm-hmm. Now, Bahamar President Graham Davis said yesterday that Bahamar also stopped administering vaccines, but they are offering an incentive for associates to be vaccinated. Okay. Well, this is quite interesting. So, all of that is happening while there are spikes in numbers in some places, including some would say New Providence. Bimini placed under curfew and with new restrictions in place. For more on what's happening there, take a listen to this report from our Jared Higgs.
After 18 reported cases of COVID-19 on Bimini in the last 3 days, officials have tightened restrictions on that island. Among the changes to the restrictions beyond the 7 p.m. curfew and ban on social gatherings, our funeral services are now to be held graveside only and are limited to 10 people. Weddings can be held indoors, but they're now limited to 10 people. But wedding receptions are prohibited. Churches are allowed to have services at church every day between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. MP for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Pakeisha Parker Edgecombe, says the additional measures are needed.
I do believe that the spike in cases warrants the curfew at this time. We cannot let our guards down, and we must grab hold of the situation as early as we can. Bimini has experienced quite a number of challenges, COVID pandemic. The curfew is what's in the best interest of that community at this time, and I support it.
In addition, all bars are prohibited from operating. Groups on parks and beaches are limited to 5. Hotel and cruise ship guests will be required to remain on the premises of the hotel or cruise ship during the curfew period. Hotel and cruise ship guests may also move between the hotel and marina to the extent the marina is part of the premises of the hotel during the curfew period. The news has come as a disappointment to many in Bimini's tourist sector. We got on the phone with Pastor Oral Ellis, who owns 2 tourist businesses in Bimini. The 63-year-old says many visitors are disappointed.
Well, of course, that was the first thing really that came to mind as far as response for me. It really don't matter to me about the time factor as far as I am concerned. But knowing that this is the 4th of July weekend and people are coming and who already made arrangements prior to, which they just said, would be a surprise when they would get here.
Officials noted in a press release on June 27th that the 11 cases reported were indicative of clustering at a local resort. There are also questions about how this will impact an expected visit by Crystal Cruises over the weekend. Ellis, who was born and raised in Bimini, was also asked how well he thought Biminites have been adhering to COVID protocols.
Well, I mean, that it is a factor. You know, we got to live by it. We've been doing pretty good so far all along, and you know, even as I'm a preacher, and so when I preach from the pulpit and do my Bible study, I often mention that it's only the grace of God that is keeping us.
Teams from the Ministry of Health were deployed to the island today to carry out vaccinations and provide assistance to the local health team. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Jared Higgs.
Okay, so again,
Laying low in Bimini.
is this the future? Back and forth, back and forth.
Ain't nothing new.
Longer curfew, shorter curfew, no curfew, back to curfew. This is what we're going to be doing?
As long as the emergency orders are in place, yes. How the spike in Bimini? How big of a spike are we talking?
Hey, it's a tiny population, so if you get 11, 12 people, I think
Right.
11 on Sunday, and then there were more on Monday and Tuesday. So it's
I'm trying to
few.
figure out how many people are in Bimini. Because I didn't know Bimini's population. Because I feel like every month Bimini has a COVID spike, and it's like, how many people live in Bimini?
You can easily find that out. As of the 2010 census, it was just under 2,000. But again, there's a highly, it's got a lot of visitors, a lot of people, so the population's, So, but it's 2,000. It's a tiny island. 2,000 is a lot. But
I hope everybody there stays safe and and do what they need to do to get this thing under control as quickly as possible, so that they can return to normalcy as much as humanly possible in this version of the world that we live in.
all right, let's get your views on what we've been talking about so far. What we're hearing from other countries, the vaccine issue, the short supply that we have. We're not expecting.
Are we paying interest on the loan of vaccines? Like, do we have to give them like 5% more back, or like how does this work?
We don't know anything. No one's talking. And we're not expecting to get ours until I think they said the end of the month. And, that they've rarely met that target. But let's hear what you say. Call us on 325-4316, 322-4259. That caller was trying to get in. You should call those other numbers. 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, or text us, 422-4796. This person here saying, Dwight, Stephen, I agree with Stephen. The generic vaccine is only more affordable, but it should be the same as the other vaccine. We use generic drugs a lot. Again, they don't know if it's correct to say it is a generic.
I mean, okay, sure. That's on for some reason when they said the COVAX vaccine or the COVAX whatever, or it's coming from India. That's the only thought that was in my head. That this is the generic version of it. It's going to allow us to be able to afford it, because we can't afford it if we buy it directly from AstraZeneca.
That was the whole thing. All of AstraZeneca is what was more affordable because of the nature of it. But it's under license. I don't know if it could be technically, generic could be a term, but some people.
No, the fact that there are people out there who are like, I will only buy a certain brand of tuna, and it doesn't matter if all the tuna come from the same place, or I only buy a specific brand of bleach. I'm not buying the bleach that says generic. And it's like, but it's all, they made in the same factory. Or like, it's the same ingredients. It's just like, they just have different labels on it.
I don't think that applies to the two examples you gave, but I understand where you're going.
It specifically applies to the example I gave. I'm not calling the name of companies.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe you have more information than I have. But sure. This person says here, the restrictions placed on Bimini are unfair given the fact that the protocols are mostly broken by tourists partying at the resorts there. Just take a look at the somebody's Instagram, okay? They literally just had a concert. Now hotels here carry on and local businesses will take the brunt of the hit. Hey, it's been like that from day one, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, if that is causing it, then the hotel should be the one to suffer, not the entire community. Like when I say the hotel, I don't mean the workers. I mean the corporate section of the hotel, the people, the executives who are making the decisions. Those are the ones who should be the ones to feel the repercussions of this, as opposed to, well, we're gonna shut down the whole island, everybody go back inside. Meanwhile, and they say the tourists just need to be on the property during curfew?
Yes, or on the cruise ship.
So that means the tourists will have more freedom than the Bahamians in Bimini. Because if their curfew is working the way it works in Nassau, that means you need to be in your yard or in your house by a certain time. But then the tourists could still walk around on the property. Okay.
That is correct.
Happy Independence, Bahamas.
This is a text here. Does this mean that our diplomats vaccinated via the AstraZeneca through COVAX will be barred from travel? We'd like to know. We'd very much like to know. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Glenn.
Hi, good morning.
It's a beautiful day as always, sir. You know, is it apparent now that maybe the people who are coming to visit us, because we need visitors, we need persons from the Crown to represent the Crown to come and visit us, are bringing the virus? Is this the indication here?
I mean, it's always been the indication.
Okay,
Travel
so
has been a
is.
major part of this.
Okay, so we're going to always have this back and forth because we need them to come, or else we will go under. And then someone is going to make a ton of money because, you know, you can take 2 vaccines now and you get more protection. Pretty soon there's going to be a news release. You take 3, you get even more protection. I see the money making here. And let me give you another example of how money is made. And you mentioned it in your news. Bill Cosby was released on some technicality. And now you have another group of women lined up to file lawsuits again against him. So this back and forth with him, they're going to stop until he's dry. It looks like, you know.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm reading some more. Boy, oh boy. This is some interesting stuff here. Okay. Oh boy. All right, so this is something Canada put out about this. So the AstraZeneca one, brand name AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, right? Canada has authorized 2 manufacturers. I guess they've approved those. And then they are saying the other one, Verity Pharmaceuticals and Serum Institute of India, in collaboration with AstraZeneca, brand name Covishield. AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine manufactured by AstraZeneca and Covishield, manufactured by Serum Institute of India, are all the technical terms there, developed by AstraZeneca and Oxford University. Health Canada had mentioned these and found them to be comparable. Okay. Generic.
Did that make you feel better? Or?
We're gonna get the definition of if it's technically generic.
You got to look up what generic means.
You know, I think it has different meanings and different applications, but let's see. Let's look it up.
You know what? I apologize for bringing this into the zeitgeist.
But it's a very valid question. If the
That's
EU,
what I thought it was all along.
If the EU is going to be talking garbage like that, like, oh no, we don't accept the Indian one,
right?
But the other one, the British one, oh yeah. Okay, generic.
I'm looking at the FDA. A generic drug is a medication created to be the same as an existing approved brand name drug in dosage form, safety, strength, route of administration, quality, and performance characteristics. Generic medicines work the same as brand name medicines. And then the question is, why are generic drugs cheap? They're only cheaper because the manufacturers have not had the expenses of developing and marketing a new drug. When a company brings a new drug to the market, the firm has already spent substantial money on research, development, marketing, and promotion of the drug. And so, yeah, a person who can produce it, licenses it from drug, And it's just like it's like a what you call it, like a franchise situation. Where it's like, okay, we're allowing you to create this. You could sell Nathan's hot dogs in the Bahamas.
You really need to stop calling these names, please.
Anyway, the only way people are gonna understand that.
Don't say it. Say brand X or something.
No, because that sounds too close to brand S hot dogs, which are cheap.
You just called another one. Okay.
Who's gonna sue me for brand S hot dogs?
You'd be surprised. There's a distributor here. There's a distributor here, so let's not do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, please, for God's sake. They're all distributed here.
The whole point is, I'm not talking about the food anymore. I'm talking about the drugs. A generic drug is just generic in the fact that it is not produced by the same person who developed it. And it's slightly, or it's more affordable. Let me not say slightly cheaper. It's more affordable because in some cases it's much more affordable.
Yeah, you remember this came up a few weeks ago when that press statement from the state of New York, and they were talking about people who only the FDA approved drugs they would allow to certain events in New York. US
AstraZeneca
Embassy
didn't make
here,
the cut.
right? Because it's not FDA approved yet, and the U.S. Embassy made a statement that they're working on it or something to that effect. So the EU doing something similar there. So that's very, very, very interesting.
Listen, if we wanted tomorrow to say we're not allowing anybody who takes Tylenol, we could do that.
You're doing this again.
That right now. That's a hypothetical.
Okay, but don't. Yeah, a certain painkiller. How about that? Acetaminophen, even the side. Yeah, how about that? Okay.
Yeah, except that's not a brand.
Okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Godly day to this dark in way.
Hi.
Hi, Dwight. But before I go to my several main points, right? I want to tell Stephen that my birthday comes 2 days before the Bahamas independent.
Okay.
Other thing is I pronounce your name right?
Stephen?
To the best of your ability, yes.
Okay. What I want to say to you, right, also, is that quality is different from brand name. Now, I understood that generic is steps down from quality. Okay? Now...
no, but generic doesn't mean lesser quality.
Say it again?
Generic doesn't mean less quality.
Of course it means less quality.
No, that's the assumption. But I'm telling you that a lot of times generic doesn't mean that.
Oh, a lot of times. Okay, I can deal with that. Dwight, now what I want to ask you, right?
Yes.
First, don't you think those houses in which the government allowing other people to deal with for them, right? Now it's our money. Don't you think that's segregation? And if not, why?
Okay, say that again. Repeat your question.
Okay, the houses out west in which the government established for youngsters, right? Now they have private people dealing with it, right? And it's our money. Don't you think that's segregation?
That's a serious word. I don't, but it is
Why
a
you
very
don't?
serious word. I mean,
Why you don't?
why do you think it is? Because of what?
Because of it's the public money.
Yeah,
And
but
we
I mean,
don't know the people
they're not
that are...
giving the people the land.
Say it again?
They're not giving the people the land. They still
But
have to.
who are the people who are the private people that are dealing with it?
Right. Now, that is a different issue, and I don't know if it's segregation, but that's a different issue, and that is concerning that who are these policymakers? They're talking about lawmakers, or who are we talking about there? That they will get to decide who gets the lot. I think Steve and I were talking about this a few weeks ago, and I think we somehow it came up that perhaps a lottery would be better, all the qualified people to a pool and drawn, and you don't know who you're going to pick. That way might be better than this. It sounds like they're going to be weighting people based on...
A lottery with anything like with land. So that was probably a different house.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I mean, I understand that there are people who are like, it's not fair. And like, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, it ain't fair that this generation, that my generation may not get pension.
You know something, you all? I don't like how we are being played with.
Who said you all? I said my.
Say it again?
No, that's not what he's saying. We're going. Uh-huh.
What's the
No,
saying?
repeat what you're saying. Go on.
I don't appreciate how we are being played with.
In
We
what
are
way?
grown people. We should know what's happening because it's all our money.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Segregation is a serious word. But yeah, there's some issues here that they need to explain and clear up. The policymakers getting to decide is possibly problematic, more than likely problematic. But if you qualify, and it should be extremely fair. Everybody entered into the pool and names drawn or something like that. So you could tell, well, I definitely didn't have anything to do with that. That's the name that we picked, and those are the ones who get it. Oh, well, yeah, you were extremely qualified, but you weren't drawn. That's just the luck of the draw. That's how things work.
As a person who's only won a door prize once in their entire life,
You're more than most people.
I do not like those odds.
Oh, yeah? So you prefer the policymakers doing it?
No. I prefer that. Well, you know what? Sorry. Let me correct myself, right? Because a lot of times what happens is we get drawn into the binary argument. It's either Stephen's way or Dwight's way. And when I say that, I mean the whole entire country. It's either my way or your way. It could be no in between.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you're correct. In this instance, a lottery may be the best course of action. Following the events of whatever this is, all right, we need to seriously look at people being able to get property and land and build and develop a life for themselves outside of going into massive debt, outside of the luck of the draw, outside of waiting for one of their parents to die to inherit a house. All right? That's something that we need to urgently look at. Right? Because it's like that of the hierarchy of human needs to have shelter. And there are people, thousands of Bahamians, who cannot say with a surety where they will be living 3 months, 6 months, 12 months from now. And that is an issue. But I want to correct myself and not say just because I have a separate idea from you that your idea is incorrect. And I realize that I may have been doing that unconsciously. So I want to say, perhaps, Dwight, you are correct. In this instance, a lottery would be the fairest thing to do. However, moving forward, we need to make sure that you don't need a lottery because everybody getting it.
Well, you know, you are right. But Bahamians do need to recognize that the Bahamas is much more than New Providence. And you could kind of do that now. You just might not be able to work where you're going to live. But you could. You really could.
That's why we need to have that. We need to have all of that conversation because you're correct. What if the government say that to me tomorrow, Stephen, we got 100 by 100 foot piece of property for you that you've been asked to move to Cat Island tomorrow, or you got to move to Ragged Island tomorrow, right? We need to have the infrastructure in place. We need to have the industry in place. We need to have the diversification of our economy in place so that I could go to wherever I need to go and I could still work. I could still make a living throughout the islands of the Bahamas. And then we need to figure out, once again, this still falls under public transportation. Bahamas Air was a good thought. But what would make more sense is if we had some type of hydrofoil ferry system in between the islands that was reliable, that was on time, that had a low carbon footprint, that allowed me, if I still needed to work in New Providence, that I could shoot across from Andros, I could go to the ferry terminal, and I know every hour on the hour, a hydrofoil is coming there and going to carry me back and forth. That alone would change the dynamics of the Family Islands, that would change the dynamics of New Providence, that would change the dynamics of the whole entire country. That's an entire conversation that needs to be had. We have the land. Now you say the land is not in New Providence? Fine. Well, if the land is in another island, but the jobs aren't there, how do we get jobs there, or how do we get the people back and forth to their jobs in a timely manner that makes sense for this whole entire thing to work. But right now, what we're doing is we have four wheels and we're only using one.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you have central government making all the decisions for the entire country. Right? That will continue to be the
central government
case.
still needs to play a part in terms of that, like the transportation between the islands. But yeah. I do take your point. Sure? I do take your point.
Okay. We're going to pick up, since our caller brought it up, we're going to pick up the discussion about what's been announced about the new, what are they calling it officially? The Prospect Ridge development. Committee for the Development of Communities for Young Professionals. We're going to talk about that after the break. This is Morning Blend on a Friday, a very wet Friday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
Is a tropical island on the Gulf Stream side. I sail into Bimini Harbor on the evening tide. There the shore to dance a merengue till the morning comes. Pick two coconuts out of the tree, fill them up with rum. Everybody lay low in their money, or ain't nothing new. I recall that's what I came here for. Everybody lay low in their ain't nothing new. I've been to Bimini before.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. The U.S. military has left Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, the epicenter of the war that began on 9/11. Our Charles de Ledesma is overseas, and he says there was some trouble overnight.
Two U.S. officials say the airfield is now in the hands of the Afghan National Security and Defense Force, while one adds the top American commander in Afghanistan, General Austin Miller, has said Bagram still retains all the capabilities and authorities to protect the forces that remain. A district administrator says the American departure was done overnight by officials, and as a result, dozens of local looters stormed through the unprotected gates before Afghan forces regained control. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The search for anyone who may have survived the partial collapse of that Florida condo building is back on after having stopped for hours yesterday because of fears the rest of the complex might fall down. 18 people are known dead in the condo collapse. 145 others are still missing. Here's our Jackie Quinn.
County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava says even though most of the missing haven't been recovered, they're making plans to demolish the remains of the structure.
To best manage the demolition in order to safeguard the integrity of the existing debris field.
The search effort, which had been paused, did resume in the afternoon, but experts keep monitoring the debris for signs of a potential collapse. I'm Jackie Quinn.
The July 4th holiday is approaching, and so many millions of us will be traveling that the AAA says the number is nearly expected to fully recover to what it was before the pandemic. Almost 48 million Americans will be on the road or in the air. The Weather Service is warning about the miserable heat in the West and Midwest. This is AP News. The Washington football team is going to be paying a massive fine to the NFL. Dave Ferry's got this.
The NFL has fined the Washington football team. Independent investigation found the organization's workplace highly unprofessional, especially for women. The team was not stripped of any draft picks, and no formal suspensions were handed out. Owner Dan Snyder is stepping away from day-to-day operations for several months after the inquiry revealed that ownership and senior officials paid little attention to sexual harassment and other workplace issues. Snyder says his wife, Tanya, will be in charge during his absence. I'm Dave Ferry.
And now to the Picasso in the closet. The painting, called Le Tricorne, was hidden away in a closet in Maine for 50 years. It's now been sold at auction for $150,000. This was a preliminary sketch for a larger work done later. It's signed and dated 1919. No word on who bought it. I'm Rita Foley, AP News. 7:39, time for your morning event traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, the streets are very wet. Some are flooded, so keep that in mind. And we've also got heavy traffic on Smile Butler Highway in the northbound lanes, just north of Fire Trail, heading to Tawneek Williams-Darling Highway. Glaston Road also busy for you northbound to JFK Drive. Elsewhere, Blue Hill Road northbound as usual, especially as you approach Carmichael Road. That junction there, Carmichael eastbound to Blue Hill busy too. And Blue Hill north of Soldier Road in the northbound lanes heading towards the Independence Drive roundabout. Elsewhere, we're seeing some pockets at some of the major intersections on the island, but so far manageable at this hour. I'll have another real-time report for you after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, Banking Reimagined. And time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas. Often combined with streaming tropical moisture that will continue to support unsettled weather over the northwest and central Bahamas. For boaters today, and residents, you're being advised to be alert for possible waterspout or tornado activity, and residents should take extra precaution due to flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas from prolonged or heavy rainfall events. Beachgoers should exercise caution along eastern and southern shorelines as there's a risk of rip currents and rough surf. For all areas today, forecast calls for cloudy to occasionally overcast, warm and humid conditions with scattered showers and rain and isolated thunderstorms in the northwest and central Bahamas. Partly cloudy, hot and humid with a chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms in the southeastern islands. Again, for boaters, a small craft caution is in effect for the central islands and an advisory for the southeast Bahamas. Temperature-wise, look for highs getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, troughing is expected to continue to affect the northwestern Bahamas with more drying conditions over the central and southeastern Bahamas by Saturday. For Sunday, unsettled weather from Elsa in the Caribbean Sea could affect a bit. For tomorrow, though, Saturday, that will mean partly sunny, hot, and breezy conditions with isolated showers in the northwest Bahamas, becoming fair, warm, and breezy at night with a few showers possible. Sunday, variably cloudy, hot, and humid with a chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms in the northwest Bahamas. Partly cloudy to cloudy and windy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms in the central and southeastern islands. With Tropical Storm Elsa strengthened a little bit and is very near the Lesser Antilles now. Tropical storm conditions expected to begin there in a couple of hours. As of 5 o'clock, Elsa was about 70 miles east-southeast of Barbados, or about 180 miles east-southeast of St. Vincent. Elsa is moving quickly toward the west-northwest near 28 miles per hour, and this motion is expected to continue during the next couple of days. On the forecast track, Elsa will pass near or over portions of the Windward Islands or the southern Leeward Islands by this morning, then move across the eastern Caribbean Sea night and move near the southern coast of Hispaniola on Saturday. By Sunday,
Elsa is forecast to move near Jamaica and portions of eastern Cuba. Maximum sustained winds have increased to near 60 miles per hour with higher gusts. Some additional strengthening is forecast over the next 12 to 24 hours, followed by a little change in strength. Residents in the Bahamas should be monitoring the progress of this storm, especially over the weekend when it gets close to Cuba. It could begin to impact weather in the southern Bahamas. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas. Rev, you and us together.
Enjoy an elevated mobile experience with BTC, giving you
unlimited talk for the best conversations, unlimited data for all your online fun,
and unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For just $50 per line.
Unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speeds starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com. Conditions apply.
Travel less, but vacation more by indulging yourself and your family with the ultimate staycation Atlantis. Sleep in, relax, play, go out. Say yes to a fantastic staycation in your very own paradise just over the bridge. For reservations, call 363-6483 or visit Atlantis Local on Facebook for details.
Digital banking, online, RBC.
RBC Banking Online. Pay your bills anytime.
RBC Digital Banking is so easy. Granny and Granddad can do it. Sign up for online banking or download the RBC Caribbean app.
With RBC, it's safe and easy. Send your money hassle-free. RBC.
Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/bank at home. RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
The Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp is back. That's right, it's time for the 33rd Annual Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp, July 5th through July 30th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. daily for boys and girls ages 5 to 18 years at the Blue Hill Sporting Complex Sports Center. Registration forms available at the Seventh-day Adventist office, Tony Williams Darling Highway, and at jeffrogersbasketballcamp.com. Call 818-4509 for more details. It's the Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp, July 5th through July 30th.
The summer you deserve is here at Alive. Capture more moments and go further with our prepaid plans for everyone. Roam free with postpaid and stay connected with MiFi on the go, anywhere, anytime. We do it better with even more device offerings, accessories, exclusive deals with the list, and so many opportunities to win big. From travel vouchers to grocery vouchers, Alive merch, and more. Start your summer with us this Saturday here in Nassau, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, and Abaco. Visit Alive's social media pages for more information. Alive. Believe in best.
There's only one way to have a better morning. How? Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, choose any 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Strachan sack muffin, honey buttermilk chicken biscuit, double sausage muffin, or the sausage egg and cheese biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes.
Let's face it, in an increasingly competitive market, your business needs a competitive edge. That means offering your employees the benefits they want. Give them the benefit of retiring their way with the RF Multi-Employer Pension Plan. Choose from some of the best performing investment funds in the market while taking advantage of low administrative costs and professional management. Whether you're a team of 2 or 2,000, our pension specialists can design a plan for you. Contact us at pensions@rfgroup.com to learn more about the RF Multi-Employer Pension Plan. RF, money at work.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
I'm on an island, even when you're close. Can't take the silence. I'd rather be alone. I think it's pretty plain and simple. We gave it all we could. It's time I wave goodbye.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Stephen Hanna on this Friday morning. And, we were talking about it before the break, so let's get into it. Our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about it in today's National Guardian. Policymakers to decide who gets lots in new subdivision. Policymakers will ultimately decide who gets land in the new subdivision in Western New Providence geared toward young professionals, not the committee established by the government. That's according to the guidance notes for the Prospect Ridge development, which were revealed yesterday. The notes outline the details for the criteria and selection process of candidates for the government service lots. According to the document, it says, quote, once the categorizing, verification, and weighting processes are complete, the Committee for the Development of Communities for Young Professionals will compile a list of successful candidates based on the criteria and submit to policymakers for final approval. Once applicants are approved by policymakers and all government regulatory requirements have been met as it relates to the subdivision, they will be contacted by the Office of the Prime Minister for further steps with regards to lot selection, payment, and official transfer of ownership. The application process started yesterday and will remain open for 6 weeks. Purchase of land in the community will be limited to first-time homeowners between age 45. Who are Bahamian citizens and currently live in the Bahamas. The document outlines that applicants will be ranked on a point system that weighs applicants' age, income, whether they work for the government, and if they currently own land. People under 25 who work for the government, make less than $80,000 per year, and do not own land will score higher, according to the document. Applicants must also secure a mortgage pre-approval letter or letter of financial suitability from a qualified financial institution. The government said the government will not guarantee mortgages. Applicants must upload the required documents to mygateway.gov.bs. Now, between 20% and 25% of the lots will be reserved for single women. Between 20% and 25% for single men. Well, okay. Between 35% to 40% for married couples. And between 5% and 10% for people with disabilities. The homes must be built within 2 years. All local and imported construction materials, appliances, and furniture for the home can be bought tax-free. Successful applicants can apply to receive the tax concessions for an additional year. The homes will be exempt from property tax, and the government will provide up to 10 designs of single-family homes and 1- and 2-story duplexes that applicants can choose from. The document said the government will have the first right of refusal if the applicant decides to sell the home within the first 5 years. If you do not own a duplex or townhouse, you cannot rent the home before you have lived in it for 10 years. And the government reserves the right of refusal to purchase the lot if the home cannot be completed in 2 years because of loss of employment. Oh, my goodness. Okay, in April, Parliament approved a resolution to allow for the development of a residential community in Western New Providence geared toward young professionals and the transfer of that land from the treasurer to the government for the sum of $10. The community will be comprised of 83 acres of land located north of John F. Kennedy Drive between Prospect Ridge and the Ministry of Works and will feature a clubhouse, pool, parks, and a preschool. Prime Minister Minnis says there will be roughly 250 lots. 40% of the lots will be multifamily, available for purchase at $50,000. Well, okay. $50,000, and 60% of the lots will be single family, sold for $40,000. He said the lots will be worth $150,000 once the infrastructure is in place. All right. Yeah, so what do you make of that? What do you think of it's what? It's segregation? I don't know if it's segregation, but a lot of restrictions there.
Class, but I mean, that's the world that we live in. I'm not defending it. I'm saying if this is the first time you're realizing it, then, you've been missing out on a lot.
Mm-hmm. I think the greatest concern here is this policymaker thing. Them deciding.
That's not the greatest concern. The greatest, because based on what they're saying, clearly they have in mind who this going to.
Well, it's policymakers. if it's policymakers, it's quite possible that could happen.
I would almost
fairer
prefer
ways to do this.
Right. I mean, I would almost prefer if they were like, this is only for government employees, right? And then, it would have the price have to drop from 50,000 because that actually eliminates a lot of the government employees, because a lot of people who work for government aren't making $50,000 a year, so they're not even making half of that a year. So saving $50,000 or paying $50,000 one shot kind of puts them in a situation. So, and then there's but I guess that's why they're like mortgage or whatever. Anyway, the whole point is it's weird.
It's weird?
Yeah.
Weird. Okay.
It is weird. I mean, I still is eligible to go get it, because if this is the best they could do now, 10 years from now, all of us can look back and be like, boy, I wish I did apply for that.
5 years from now.
I mean, literally now I'm looking at it and saying, but I wish I had $5,000 in the 70s to buy a piece of land, but.
All right. Let's hear what you have to say, folks. Give us a call, 325-4316, 325-4316, or 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. This texter says, I agree with Brayman. I think we are being played with. For centuries, evil politicians have found divisive issues to split a population, so the ire of the whole is not turned against their abysmal failures. The divisive issue they're clinging to is age here. Wow. You're too old to be here. Give the young...
How everybody complain about this age and nobody complain about these other stuff?
Let me finish it. You're too old to be here. Give the young people a chance. You too young, get some experience. It's all to take the spotlight off their failure to create one idea to expand the economy to accommodate all. Hey, we've talked about this before. What the issue is here. It's your banks.
Right.
They're going to be into you if you're 48 and looking for a mortgage. You're looking
like, if anything, you need to complain about that.
That's a different story.
Right.
But I mean, the banks have a valid reason for that. You don't have many working years left unless you are, you've got some huge company and you own it and it's doing very well and we can't see an end to the desire for what you sell.
No, I didn't say I didn't understand why banks are doing it. I said
you did.
If you know that this is going to be a problem for you and the majority of people, then then we should be fighting for a solution, as opposed to saying it's not fair because I'm too old or I'm this or that. Like, we should be trying to fix it as opposed to just adjusting it so they can let us in.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, again, if you've got those criteria and you look good at 49, 50, I'm sure people will be saying, well, why didn't you get a home before? Right? So, this one here says, stop giving Steven such a hard time. That's his way of making a point. I guess that's you calling all those companies' names and products. Yeah.
I cannot pay attention to Dwight.
Well, please do. We've got some very sensitive sponsors and potential sponsors. And yeah. Okay. I understand that Barbados government has approved a first dose of AstraZeneca and a second dose from another brand. Do you know if our government is considering this? I think that's up to you. If we do have the other, they keep saying we will likely get Pfizer at some point this year, and maybe some others. It'll be your choice.
Yeah, but we know that mixing the efficacy, it still works. It still has a good protection from the virus or whatever it is that they're trying to do. Like, it is as effective as if you took it from the same company. The British have done it. They've done tests on this from the beginning of this year. It works fine. The Americans are doing tests on it. It's fine. So it's like mixing vaccines is not a problem.
Mm-hmm. This back to the land issue. Someone says here, all I heard was blah, 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 special committee to pretend at fairness, blah, 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 blah. PM gets to decide. If this committee can figure out the best people for this, they are wasting their talents since they can predict the future success of young people. Well, yeah, like I said, that is to me the part that is very concerning.
You know what? Exactly. Hey, that's why I ended up agreeing with you on the lottery, because you know how the success of young people work. It's oh, your daddy is who? Oh yeah, man. Oh, yeah, that's so-and-so. Yeah, man, remember?
Give him 2 lots.
Give him 2 lots.
Let's take this call. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. You're on. You got a few seconds. Hi, good morning. Oh, boy. Okay. All right. Let's read a couple more as we go to the break. Will permanent residents be able to purchase?
I highly doubt it. I feel like no is the answer.
I mean, if you meet that criteria.
No, I feel, isn't one of the criteria be a Bahamian citizen?
You know, of all the things I've read, here.
Or maybe I heard that in my head. You know what? Because then it'll be like, oh, we about to have no Bahamians inside in this area, in this parcel of land. This could be a little Britain.
We'll get some details. We'll find out. Go there,
everybody from Pittsburgh.
We got to go to the news. When we come back, we're talking to the Laws of Life essay winners. Stay with us.
Bimini is now under a 7 p.m. curfew, and most social gatherings are now prohibited after a spike in COVID-19 cases on that island. As Jared Higgs reports, the decision to tighten restrictions there come as the island prepares to welcome Crystal cruises over the weekend.
After 18 reported cases of COVID-19 on Bimini in the last 3 days, officials have tightened restrictions on that island. Among the changes to the restrictions beyond the 7 p.m. curfew and ban on social gatherings, our funeral services are now to be held graveside only and are limited to 10 people. Weddings can be held indoors, but they're now limited. Receptions are prohibited. Churches are allowed to have services at church every day between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. MP for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Pakeisha Parker Edgecombe, says the additional measures are needed.
I do believe that the spike in cases warrants the curfew at this time. We cannot let our guards down, and we must grab hold of the situation as early as we can. Bimini has experienced quite a number of challenges in our fight against this COVID pandemic. The curfew is what's in the best interest of that community at this time, and I support it.
In addition, all bars are prohibited from operating. Groups on parks and beaches are limited to 5. Hotel and cruise ship guests will be required to remain on the premises of the hotel or cruise ship during the curfew period. Hotel and cruise ship guests may also move between the hotel and marina to the extent the marina is part of the premises of the hotel during the curfew period. The news has come as a disappointment to many in Bimini's tourist sector. We got on the phone with Pastor Oral Ellis, who owns 2 tourist businesses in Bimini. The 63-year-old says many visitors are disappointed.
Well, of course, that was the first thing really that came to mind as far as response for me. It really don't matter to me about the time factor as far as I am concerned. But no July weekend, and people are coming and who already made arrangements prior to would be, as you just said, would be a surprise when they would get here.
Officials noted in a press release on June 27th that the 11 cases reported were indicative of clustering at a local resort. There are also questions about how this will impact an expected visit by Crystal Cruises over the weekend. Ellis, who was born and raised in Bimini, was also asked how well he thought Biminites have been adhering to COVID protocols.
Well, I mean, you know, it's a thing that it is a factor. You know, we got to live by it. We've been doing pretty good so far all along, and you know, even as I'm a preacher, and so when I preach from the pulpit and do my Bible study, I often mention that it's only the grace of God that is keeping us.
Teams from the Ministry of Health were deployed to the island today to carry out vaccinations and provide assistance to the local health team. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Jared Higgs.
Well, all of Bahama's 3,500 employees are now back to work, according to the resort's president, Graham Davis. 500 of them now staff Bahama's $200 million Baha Bay Water Park, which officially opened yesterday. Carl Joaquin reports.
All 3,500 Bahama employees are back at Davis. The resort opening its $200 million Baha Bay Water Park today, employing 500 people. Carl Joaquin reports.
We have no more associates on furlough. We have no more associates having on ex gratia payments, so all of our associates are back.
After a rough year that saw employees furloughed, some even let go early on, Baha President Graham Davis says everyone is back to work. This as occupancy sees its highest level since last March as the busy 4th of July weekend rolls in.
We're expecting July to be, again, exceeding our 2019 occupancies, and for that month going forward as well. Our group business is still not returning until late Q3 or Q4, but we're very optimistic about the rest of this year, and certainly 2022 looks to be, again, a record year for us as well.
Davis says as more venues open up, more people are expected to be hired at the resort. But for months, both Baha Mar and Atlantis have expressed concerns over the lack of adequate airlift. Davis says that's still a concern.
Right now, we're still about forecasted in July to be about 36% down over 2019 levels. That's concerning for us, but we're optimistic that we're to see Frontier coming into the market, Southwest coming back on here in the fall, British Airways increasing their airlift. We're certainly confident. I do see that airlift pricing is rising.
And now the resort is marking the grand opening of its $200 million Baha Bay Water Park, which, according to Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, sees the direct employment of 500 people.
Scores of jobs and economic opportunities for Bahamians, including new opportunities, are on the way. We are coming back stronger than ever.
Exclusive to Baha Mar guests, at least until the end of summer, Baha Bay has thrilling water slides, a wave pool, surf simulator, and a variety of innovative cuisine options, complete with 15 full-service private cabanas and daybeds.
I am equally pleased to note that in this very month, Baha Mar will have over 3,500 associates. Your outlook for the months ahead are very, very promising.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Well, Graham Davis confirmed that to date, 1/3 of Baha Mar's 3,500 staff members have gotten both doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Now we're close to 1,000 associates fully vaccinated, 2 doses and 2 weeks. They don't have to test to come to work anymore. They don't have to any more temperature checks. And we have well over 1,700 that have taken their first dose. So we're certainly optimistic. It's certainly exceeding the country's percentage of vaccination based on our population of associates, and we're certainly...
During the opening of Baha Bay, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis stressed the need for hospitality workers to get vaccinated, as he said it gives potential visitors confidence in coming to the Bahamas.
There is really something each of us can do to help this economic revival to gather pace. And I'm looking straight at those young people. We must continue to get vaccinated. The vaccines are the way to end this terrible pandemic.
Well, applications are now being accepted for those interested in trying to secure one of those lots in government's new Western subdivision for professionals. Who ultimately gets to live there will be decided by policymakers, not the committee established by government. Guidance notes for applicants for the Prospect Ridge development reveals that a mortgage pre-approval letter from a financial institution will be part of their submission, and government says it will not guarantee those mortgages. Only first-time Bahamian homeowners ages 18 to 45 who are living in this country will be considered. But those guidance notes also outlined a grading system for applicants, with people under the age of 25 who work for government and make less than $80,000 per year scoring higher than other applicants. 50% of those lots have been reserved for single persons, 35 to 40% for married couples, and 10% for people with disabilities. Homes must be built there within 2 years with tax breaks for imported materials to assist. Those homes will also be taxed for 5 years. The application process will be open for the next 6 weeks. Well, Tropical Storm Elsa continues to push her way through the Caribbean, but the Met Office says on its current track, it should just bring some wind and rain to our southern and central islands this weekend. Forecaster Giselle Mather told us this morning they are watching the storm's track closely.
At the moment, on the forecasted track, Elsa is expected to move just south of Hispaniola, then between Jamaica and Haiti, and move across the southern portion of Cuba. And that means that we would get some some isolated showers, some thunderstorms, and some wind from Elsa. Winds probably about 20 to 25 knots, maybe with gusts about 30 knots. So on the current path, that is what we are expecting in the southeastern islands and portions of the central Bahamas. And that would be around Sunday.
She said what we're experiencing now is just some tropical moisture which has been over our area for the past 5 days. As for Elsa, even though that system is expected to skirt us to the south, she suggests Bahamians stay alert in the event things change.
So far, it's not expected to shift any more than it has. So it's moving in a northwesterly direction, and that movement is expected to continue over the next few days. However, we do know it's a storm, and these storms can be unpredictable. So with each new hours, then we will see how the path changes, if there are any changes.
Stay with us as more news after the break.
When does a simple meal become exceptional? You guessed it, when it's made the Fresh Market way. We're talking exquisite cuts of fresh meat, succulent fresh seafood options, the best in fresh produce, and who can forget our exotic spices and herbs? Come on, get ready to shake up your taste buds and let our aisles inspire your inner food genius. Homemade salted caramel ice cream, egg noodle stir fry, time to walk and roll. Slow smoked beef ribs, oh baby! Remember, go fresh and craft delicious with Fresh Market.
How the exercise going?
Not too good.
What happened?
Well, you know Mr. Junior make me one treadmill.
Make?
You know how he like tinker. Anyhow, he built this treadmill and he hook it up to one of them clothesline, which you could spin. You know the kind what I mean?
You mean the one would look like the upside down umbrella?
That's the one. He figure that since I was working out, I just power up one of them clothesline, so he hook it up direct to the treadmill.
Oh, so whilst you're walking, clothes spinning. Makes sense to me.
Makes sense to you, eh? You know how heavy wet clothes is? But anyhow, I right there struggling to get the treadmill going. Slow. She start to go now. The treadmill going and the clothes spinning. This time now I building up speed. I running, the clothes spinning fast now.
You're flying now.
Yes, and so was the clothes. You would have thought he had enough sense to screw the thing down, eh?
The clothes going?
I see where they land yet.
So what you gonna do?
Go back to Superwash where I should have gone in the first beginning.
Superwash. They washes your presses and cleans you 24/7.
Calling all members. The 36th annual general meeting of the Bahamas Law Enforcement Cooperative Credit Union is scheduled for Saturday, July 3rd, 2021 at 8 a.m. at the Rose Garden, Police Headquarters, East Street, Nassau, Bahamas. Please note that all COVID-19 health and safety protocols will be strictly enforced, inclusive of the wearing of masks, sanitation, and social distancing at all times. See you there.
Don't wait for disaster to strike. This hurricane season, be ready. Protect your home with an affordable and comprehensive home insurance policy from Shield Insurance. You can't control what nature blows your way, but with Shield Insurance, you can rest easy as you ride out the storm. Protect your largest and most valuable investment. Don't take a chance. Put your home in our hands.
Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau. Call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
Anyway, Lumpkin, does you know what a happy camper is? You ain't got to answer that. That's why you call it a historical question. Anyhow, a happy camper is anybody will come to bend the tile. I say, why are you talking in a third person? He look around, he's a third person. When my customers see what I got on sale, they could be dancing in the showroom, but I got to stop them because I ain't got no club license. Anyway, most everything will be on sale as usual. So, if you could please say that Pender would be very happy to see them, and they would be very happy to see Pender if they stop by. Pender Tile Sale now through July 9th.
Brother made you jump off the boat onto Porterski and make a beeline to Sun Isles. Tell Miss Wallace them, I need a battery for this, a battery for that, and a battery for this. You got them? She say, man, you joking? I'll put a battery in you too. Major say, you mean you can still energize this old bunny? She say, man, we'll give you one good overhaul service, lubricate your 21 joules, then jumpstart your lithium battery, man, you'll be good as new. Major say, well, I didn't know you could do all of that. She say, well, of course I can, because that's the kind of me I am.
Sun Isles Watch & Clock, number 112 Montrose Avenue. Watch & Clock sales and repairs for over 40 years.
Crystal Cruises is setting sail for the Bahamas once again. Crystal will follow the strictest safety protocols as guests travel to Exuma, San Salvador, Long Island, and more. With a commitment to keep communities and guests safe and protect the environment, Crystal's decision to homeport in the Bahamas will boost tourism and support the local economy. Learn more at crystalcruises.com.
Enjoy an elevated mobile experience with BTC, giving you
unlimited talk for the best conversations, unlimited data for all your online fun,
and unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For design, unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speed starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com. Conditions apply.
Welcome back. The troublesome and invasive cane toad is back in numbers which have environmentalists concerned. Bahamians are now being warned to remain on the lookout for the unwanted guest. Jared Higgs reports.
It's an unwelcome intruder that's elusive, adaptable, and also poisonous.
Just give you an idea of size. Or the size of my hand.
Cane toads are native to Central and South America, but a huge population in Florida has resulted in an infiltration here on New Providence.
You're going to want to wear gloves. This toad does contain a bufotoxin. It does secrete a bufotoxin all over its body.
Environmental scientist Scott Johnson is an expert in handling cane toads and has worked with the Department of Environmental Health Services to capture toads and educate the public on them. That department released a statement yesterday warning about a reemergence in cane toads in central areas of New Providence.
One of the reasons why we don't want it here is because it is an invasive predator that can cause a lot of problems for our native terrestrial wildlife.
Johnson says cane toads find themselves here via shipping containers. When they arrive, they outcompete other native wildlife, in particular the Bahamian and Cuban tree frogs, for limited food resources. The species is also a threat to animals like snakes and large birds that will die if they try to eat it.
So if you look at how it jumps, it does not jump far like our Cuban tree frogs.
Johnson, an environmental scientist at Braun Limited, demonstrates how to catch a cane toad in this video posted a year ago. He insists that gloves are necessary for anybody brave enough to grab one. He warns against using a cutlass for risk of the poison spurting out. Instead, he suggests putting the frogs in a plastic bag and freezing them for 48 hours before killing them. If you aren't willing to catch them, he encourages you to contact the Department of Environmental Health and forming a chemical barrier around your yard. That barrier should include 2 parts Dettol or Salvol and 1 part water sprayed around the perimeter of your premises. Another warning.
You are going to want to make sure that your pets are put away in places that they want to get access to cane toad, because if a dog, for example, does lick or bite the cane toad, that dog could be dead in as little as 15 minutes.
Cane toads reproduce quickly, and Johnson says they're starting to take a foothold in the population. The environmental expert says better inspection at the borders could lead to less cane toads on the island.
If you hear about things like cane toads, learn a little bit more about cane toads, because cane toads are a problematic species and they are dangerous to Bahamian wildlife and to our domestic animals.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Jared Higgs.
That's going to do it for local news. Stay with us. AP News is next.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping, usbahamas.com. It's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And Step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
Give me my pizza right away. Gotta move quick, no time to wait. No long lines inside the place. Little Caesars, I love the taste. Just come now, you don't have to call, now you don't have to wait. Hot and ready. Large pepperoni, $7.99 every day.
Hot and ready.
Oh, yeah. Straight out the oven and freshly made.
Hot and ready.
Little Caesars is.
Hot and ready.
Little Caesars is. Get yours now at Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, and now East Street South, Pineapple Plaza. Pizza.
At Master Technicians, we have what your family traditions need, starting with industry-best refrigerators, ranges, and ovens. We also carry Whirlpool washer and dryers, dishwashers and freezers, leading KitchenAid countertop appliances, blenders, microwaves, juicers, kettles, and KitchenAid stand mixers. We even do free delivery in New Providence or to the boat of your choice. Whether you're doing the laundry, creating new memories in the kitchen, or spending family time in front of the television, Master Technicians Limited, keeping family traditions alive for more than 50 years.
When you really need to save big, you need to shop Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow Spaghetti and Meatballs, 14.8-ounce can, 3 for $3.19. Promo's Peanut Butter, 18-ounce jar, $2.89. Amelanda Fresh Milk, 33.8-ounce size, $1.39. Green peppers, $1.49 per pound. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, $1.09 per pound. Working hard every day to keep your prices down. That's Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
At Apex Award Signs and Engraving, the name says it all. The country's trusted name for trophies, plaques, corporate seals, rubber stamps, badges, bumper stickers, traffic and street signs, keychains, t-shirts, interior signs, restaurant menus, and so much more. Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 128 Mount Royal Avenue in Wilton Street. Open 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturdays. Visit the website at apexawardsbahamas.com. Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 1 in the Bahamas.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
If you're a business owner, get ready because the digital transformation is here. As a business owner, you now face the choice between innovation and extinction. But you don't have Cable Bahamas Business Solutions and transform your office to get the competitive advantage. With innovative solutions like our fixed and mobile services, hosted PBX, Bahamas Cloud, and more, you can redefine your business. For more information on how you can join the click, contact the experts at Business Solutions at cablebahamas.com.
Independence Moment brought to you by Colina Insurance, The Perfume Bar, Beyond Flags, Hans Ketchup distributed by Dalbina's Agency, Aquapure, Y Cares, and Airborne Freight and Cargo Services.
The Bahamian flag. The design of the Bahamian flag is a black equilateral triangle against the mast superimposed on a horizontal background made up of two colors on 3 equal stripes, aquamarine, gold and aquamarine. Black, a strong color, represents the vigor and force of a united people. The triangle pointing represents the enterprise and determination of the Bahamian people to develop and process the rich resources of land and sea, symbolized by gold and aquamarine specifically.
Independence Moment brought to you by Perfume Bar, Beyond Flags, Hans Ketchup distributed by Dalbina's Agency, Aquapure, Y Cares, and Airborne Freight and Cargo Services. This traffic.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:23, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Combined with streaming tropical moisture, That will continue to support unsettled weather over the northwest and central Bahamas. Boaters and residents should remain alert for possible waterspouts or tornado activity, and residents in low-lying or flood-prone areas should be alert, as there could be issues today as we're expecting heavy rainfall events. Beachgoers in the along eastern and southern shores should exercise caution, as there's a risk for rip currents and rough surf. For today, your forecast for all areas: cloudy to occasionally overcast, warm and humid with scattered showers, rain and isolated thunderstorms, mainly in the northwest Bahamas and the central islands as well. Partly cloudy, hot and humid with a chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms in the southeast Bahamas. Boaters, small craft cautions in effect for the central Bahamas and an advisory for the southeast Bahamas. Temperatures today getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to around 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook for your weekend, troughing is expected to continue to affect the northwest Bahamas. Southeastern islands should begin to dry out a bit. And for Sunday, unsettled weather from Elsa could affect the southern islands. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But for tomorrow, Saturday, look for partly sunny, hot, and breezy conditions with a few isolated showers in the northwest Bahamas, becoming fair, warm, and breezy with a few isolated showers possible at night. Sunday, variably cloudy, hot, and humid with a chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms in the northwest Bahamas. Partly cloudy to cloudy and windy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms in the central and southeastern islands. More on Elsa. Tropical storm Elsa strengthening a little as it nears the Lesser Antilles. Tropical storm conditions expected to begin there in a few hours. As of 5 o'clock, Elsa was about only 70 miles east-southeast of Barbados, or 180 miles east-southeast of St. Vincent. Elsa is moving towards the west-northwest near 28 miles per hour, and this motion is expected to continue during the next couple of days. On the forecast track, Elsa will pass near or over portions of the Windward Islands or the southern Leeward Islands by this morning, move across the eastern tonight, late today and tonight, and then move near the southern coast of Hispaniola on Saturday. By Sunday, Elsa is forecast to move near Jamaica and portions of the eastern Cuba. That's when it'll be closest to the southern Bahamas. Maximum sustained winds have increased to near 60 miles per hour with higher gusts, and some additional strengthening is forecast over the next 12 to 24 hours. Again, residents in the Bahamas should continue to monitor the progress of this storm. That is your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And we've got another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, Samara Butler Highway, your hotspot this morning. From Fire Trail all the way up to Tawny Williams-Darling Highway. Glaston Road also looking very busy as your alternate route northbound to JFK Drive. Blue Hill Road seeing issues from St. Vincent really all the way up to Independence Drive, especially north of Soldier Road and the northbound lanes there. Carmichael eastbound to Blue Hill Road busy this morning as well. East Street South, you're going to be seeing issues mainly in the northbound lanes between Sapodilla Boulevard and Soldier Road, and again between Soldier Road and East-West Highway. Now that intersection with Robinson Road this morning as well. Carmichael westbound, as you head out to Coral Harbor Road, heavy traffic out there. And we're seeing at major intersections along Prince Charles and Robinson Road, and Marathon northbound to Wolf Road. Those are going to be some of your hot spots this morning. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air like
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Stephen Hanna on this Friday morning. Want to quickly say this, Stephen, before the break, we're talking about the new subdivision. Yeah, definitely it says citizens only. Citizens only. For that texter was asking, right? 18 to 45 people who are Bahamian citizens and currently living in the Bahamas. So you can't be abroad. All right? Yeah. So we're moving on. This morning, we are talking about the Laws of Life essay competition. We told you about this. That was January? Wow, that really doesn't feel that long ago. But we've got the winners. We said it to you when you were on. You've got to bring the winners back for us. And we are very pleased that Liesl Wright, the education officer of the Ministry of Education, is back with some of the winners this morning. We've got a full studio, and we're going to be meeting them and hearing portions of their essays this morning. In this portion, we have the primary division winner. We have Amanda Bowe, and we have also the senior division. We have Dana Morrison with us on Zoom. Ladies, welcome. Great to have you with us. Good morning. All right, so Liesl, just remind us, for those who might not remember or might not be familiar, what this is all about, Laws of Life.
Okay, thanks for being here this morning. The Laws of Life competition started back in the 1990s here in the Bahamas. It is sponsored by the Templeton World Charity Foundation, and it is organized by the Ministry of Education and the Laws of Life Committee. So John Templeton, who was the founder of this competition, he wrote devotional books with worldwide laws of life, some of which are his laws, and others are laws from biblical perspective and also from other persons. And when he decided that he wanted students to be involved, he wanted students to use these laws to write about them, what the laws meant to them, how they can use them in their life, and how they've seen other people use them. And the Ministry of Education's writing unit, which I was the head of since 2003, we were asked to organize this competition. We started out with just an essay competition up to about 2017 or so, when we introduced a video component as well. So this morning we have essay winners as well as the video winners present.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. All right, so Amanda, Dana, tell us what inspired you to be a part of this, to want to enter this competition.
I guess my teacher, because she was telling us about it and telling us what we could win. And we were just kind of excited, and we wanted to see if we could do it.
Yeah. Dana, what about you?
Every January, I find it exciting to see what new law of life from John Templeton we're going to explore this year.
Oh.
And it has been something my school has always encouraged my 6 years at Aquinas to participate in this Laws of Life essay competition.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So Dana's at Aquinas, and Amanda, you're at Kingsway.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
All right. So who's going to read for us first? Amanda, you look very excited. You want to start off for us?
Sure.
And what theme did you pick?
The only way to have a friend is to be a friend.
Okay. All right.
Friends are so amazing. They are kind, sweet, and loving people. Some friends are like sisters or brothers and feel like a part of your family. They comfort you when you're sad and lonely and encourage you when you're unhappy. You can share your deepest secrets with them and share funny jokes too. It's hard to say goodbye to a friend because they are not easily replaced. Over the years, I have learned that the only way to have a friend is to be a friend. Not long ago, I watched a movie called Wonder. It was based on a true story and was about a boy who had a disease from birth that caused his face to look disfigured. Even though he was different, he was very intelligent and had a great sense of humor. At first, nobody wanted to be his friend. In fact, there was a kid who was his friend who betrayed him, but later, because of his kindness, he became friends with him again. In the end, he became very popular and well-liked by everyone in the school at his heart and not his disease. You can be friendly in many different ways. For example, if a kid comes to your school, you can try to make them feel welcomed and comfortable by talking nicely to them. It will also be great to introduce them to your friend. This will make them feel special. Another thing you could do is share your lunch or show them around the school. I had an opportunity to do this with a person once. Today, she is one of my best friends. Making friends is not difficult, but keeping a friend can sometimes be challenging. In order to be a true friend, you must be understanding, kind, and loyal. Sometimes you may disagree about stuff, but it is healthy to forgive quickly. 1 Corinthians 16, verse 14 says, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love." I think one of the greatest gifts to friendship is love. While people a friend, while being a friend is rewarding. Sometimes the journey may be tough, but you have to keep working on it. My mom says her friendship got better in time. I guess I'll have to wait and see if time does the same for me. Until then, I will continue to enjoy the friends I have and work towards being the best friend I could be.
Wow. That is very, very inspiring, Amanda Bowe. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Dana Morrison, what do you have for us? Which topic did you pick?
Joy is not in things, but it is in you.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's important to remember. Let's hear yours.
I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. This statement reflects a determination to be happy rather than complain or become despondent when circumstances are not favorable. Realizing the speaker and his situation, however, may cause one to take a second look at the statement. The Apostle Paul, despite experiencing shipwreck and persecution, added his bold declaration because he knew that his joy came not from the circumstances surrounding him, but rather from deep within him. Like Paul, we can all experience true joy when we recognize that it is not found in external, uncontrollable things, but instead from deep within us. We often hear the cliche, life is what you make it. I know of no one who does not want a happy life. However, life sometimes presents challenges that seem insurmountable. Sickness, loss of loved ones, broken relationships, loss of homes, and lack of income. The question is, what does one do in these circumstances? Many people take refuge in material or inanimate things, such as their bank account, cars and houses, and other property. Some measure their well-being from the magnitude of their associations and society's monolithic perspective. While there is nothing wrong with possession of material wealth, does our joy depend on the abundance of things that we possess? Can we find the tenacity to hold in times of difficulty? Broadcaster Hugh Downs stated, "A happy person is not a person in a certain set of circumstances, but rather a person with a certain set of attitudes." In today's world, the pursuit of happiness has spiraled into a feverish endeavor for temporary gratification, which unfortunately brings us no guarantee of satisfaction. Conversely, with the right condition of the mind and self-control, the remedy might just be found within. Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." One of the central ideas in Stoicism is that humans are able to control internal elements, such as opinions, desire, and aversion. On the other hand, external elements, such as wealth, health, and pleasure, are not in our hands. Thus, it is useless to try to manage these factors. Essentially, Stoicism theorizes that a happy life can be secured, regardless of wealth, status, or power. Joy is therefore available for every person, despite their position in life. Using the mental capabilities we are blessed with, we can access the determination to minimize our sources of suffering and focus on the positive aspects of our situations, thus experiencing joy. The happiest people on earth are the people who have discovered the joy of giving. There are many individuals who are known globally for exhibiting the truth of this statement. Mother Teresa of Calcutta found joy in devoting her life to caring for the sick and impoverished, not only in India, but globally. Sir John Templeton, philanthropist and business, believed that the joy in a person has the potential to proliferate much more than any possession. He might have succeeded in business, yet his satisfaction was not rooted in his deep pocket, but in caring for others. Pastor Sunday Adalahab opined, "Eternal values are much more everlasting than the temporary physical material things." The lives of these persons and several others support this testament. The current pandemic serves as a perfect test of how we respond to challenges in life. Some people have reacted negatively to the many restrictions imposed by the government to control the spread of the virus, while some have adopted a positive ideology throughout. Perhaps if we were to pray like St. Francis of Assisi, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, we would find the inner fortitude to overcome the challenges of money shortage and isolation. This strength indeed comes from within and not from things. When joy is in an individual, he or she is able to find the most dire circumstances with a level of confidence that cannot be found in any other source. This topic resonates with me, as my aunt, who, despite being told that she will have to amputate a foot due to cancer, responded with such optimism that my family was marveled. She told us, cancer will change her situation, but it will not destroy her life. Clearly, her decision to not become depressed in light of the doctor's prognosis had to be harnessed from an inner source. Otherwise, she would have been much perturbed. Material things fluctuate in value and rarely result in true satisfaction. More meaningful, lasting, and reliable are our core principles, which emanate from within us. When we make a comment just possessions, then we shall truly find that joy is not in things, but is in us.
Wow. Dana Morrison, the winner in the senior division from Aquinas College. That was very impressive. Thank you very much for that. Wow. Okay, so Liesl, we can understand why these two won, why Amanda and Dana won here. How many entries did you have overall in each category?
We had approximately 1,700 entries overall.
Oh, wow.
Our senior division is usually our largest division, so we had over 500 entries in that division. This year we saw a bit of a decrease. You know, last year was our record year. We had about 3,000 entries.
My goodness.
But this year, due to COVID-19 and the face-to-face mixed with the hybrid instruction, lack of face-to-face rather, we had a bit of a drop, but we also moved to a digital platform, so we want to put that out there, that not only for safety during this pandemic, but just to make things a lot more efficient, students no longer have everything now is digital. We have a brand new digital platform, so everyone can check us out on Laws of Life, BahamasLawsOfLife.org, and see what we're all about. But definitely we still had an overwhelming response, and our winners, as always, have exemplified what the tenets of this competition are about.
Wow. What were the prizes like?
The prizes for the competition are in each division: senior, junior, primary, and video, as well as college. The grand prize winner receives a cash award. In the high school and primary school divisions, they also get an award of a $1,000 scholarship. That's not available for college, but the winner gets a $1,000 award. Then we have our video division, which is open to grades 10 through 12, and the first prize is a $1,000 award, and that can either be individual or teams.
Wow. Okay, we're going to meet the winners of the college and video divisions in a bit. We got a question here, so was asking again, Amanda, about the movie Wonder, right? Yeah, it was a wonderful movie. Very, very good. Recommend it to anybody. It is very touching, inspiring movie there. All right. So again, congratulations to you, Dana Morrison and Amanda Bowe. Wonderful stuff. Where can people read these essays?
They can find them on our website, BahamasLawsOfLife.org. We want to give a shout out to our junior winner, Teranique Sands of Central Eleuthera High School. Unfortunately, was not able to come as she's traveling to Nassau this morning.
Okay.
So we're going to hear some more about her, but you can read her essay on the website.
Congratulations, Teranique. All right, so as we said, we're going to meet the college division winner and the video competition winners after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space.
Enjoy an elevated mobile experience.
To talk for the best conversations. Unlimited data for all your online fun.
And unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For just $50 per line.
Unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speed starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com. Conditions apply.
Travel less, but vacation more by indulging yourself and your family with the ultimate staycation getaway at Atlantis. Sleep in, relax, play, go out. Say yes to a fantastic staycation in your very own paradise just over the bridge. For reservations, call 363-6483 or visit Atlantis Local on Facebook for details.
Stay a step ahead of technology with certainty and support from Custom Computers. Our know-how team is here to help you zero in on your next big tech purchase, finding solutions that take your productivity to the next level using only the best and most reliable brands. With 4 stores all across Nassau on East Bay, West Bay, no stopping you from stepping up your tech. Reach out to us at 396-1100. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Let's face it, in an increasingly competitive market, your business needs a competitive edge. That means offering your employees the benefits they want. Give them the benefit of retiring their way with the RF Multi-Employer Pension Plan. Choose from some of the best performing investment funds in the market while taking advantage of low administrative costs and professional management. Whether you're a team of 2 or 2,000, our pension specialists can design a plan for you. Contact us at pensions@rfgroup.com to learn more about the RF Multi-Employer Pension Plan. RF, money at work.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that.
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna, and we are talking with the Laws of Life essay competition winners. Now we have the college division winner, Landy LaRota, and from the video competition we have Celine Ferguson, Valia Roll, and Shiloh Smith. Great to have you all with us this morning. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
All right, and so all 3 of the video competition winners are from Aquinas. And we had Dana earlier from Aquinas. Aquinas came to take over this whole thing. Landy's from UB, University of the Bahamas. All right, so we'll talk with the video winners in a bit. But Landy, we want to get to your winning essay. It's long, so you can't read the whole thing, but you're going to read a good portion of it for us this morning. All right, let's get your mic sorted out there. That's the final one. Yep, okay. Let's read it for us, please. Which topic did you do?
I did Everyone Should Keep in Reserve an Alternate Plan for Livelihood.
Oh, boy. Most adults don't know about that yet. But okay, tell us about it.
Precisely. So the year 2020 was unprecedented in a plethora of ways that have yet to be fully grasped by those who endured it. A highly contagious and deadly virus with a catchy, wreaking havoc and creating chaos in its wake. The coronavirus that sparked the COVID-19 pandemic drastically changed the lives of humanity in a multifaceted way. Media and officials call it the new norm, but nothing's normal. No close and casual interactions. Everything is distant and formal. Masks are mandated and must always be on. A simple sneeze or cough now automatically warrants great scorn. Indeed, a sneeze uttered in times past would receive a bless you. However, a sneeze uttered now will only cause people to stress you. The cries of the faithful are, Lord, how long? How can we do right when it feels like you've left and everything is going wrong? A universally clear impact of COVID-19 is how feeble job security is, and this generates a scare. For this reason, everyone should keep in reserve an alternate plan for livelihood, so that when circumstances like such arise, they will still be good. One thing this pandemic has brought me is a new perspective. Success is still attainable, you just have to broaden your objectives. I aim to encourage you to pursue multiple streams of income and diversify your career aspirations. This is key to increasing your chances of not only surviving, but thriving in a complex is the coronavirus pandemic. That's the introduction.
Wow. Okay. What? Hey, that's great stuff there. What inspired you to enter the competition? Why did you do it?
I was inspired to enter the competition by my aunt. My cousin is a former participant, and I always was able to write. Always had a knack for writing, so she encouraged me to participate. I went with it, and I'm very glad I did.
Yeah. How much do you believe what you wrote that you should have an alternate plan? Do you have one?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. And even in the essay, I explore how my whole perspective has changed. I just had a one-track mind, a trajectory to be a teacher and just rise through the ranks. But now, since the pandemic, I've broadened my perspective on currently pursuing other streams of income.
Oh, wow.
And I see the value of doing such.
Excellent. How old are you?
25.
Okay, all right, that's very good. It's very admirable. All right, so let's talk to our video winners. Let's hear from you all. What inspired you all to enter this? Is it a team thing? Tell us how the video competition works exactly. Who's going to start?
Well,
Falia?
I'll start. You can enter by yourself, or you can enter as a team. Me and Celine entered together because from grade 10, we are partners in computer class. We sit right across from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So in grade 10, we were saying that we were going to enter this, but we never did. And then last year, my two close friends, they won the video competition.
Oh, wow.
And they prompted us to do it. So when it came around this year, I said, Celine, we have to do it. So let's do it. And we did it. And we won. So, yeah.
All right, so tell us about what you did. What was the video about?
Well,
Celine?
our video, basically it started off with I was the captain of the soccer team and I broke my leg in a car accident. And Valia basically tried to encourage me via different ways of telling me how other athletes went through the same thing, but they still pushed and endured. And that I could find a different alternative to go through and I could still involve myself in soccer. Even though I may have been disabled at that time, I can still help with the team and do things that I love and not to become depressed about it, but try to find another way to be happy and push through.
Mm-hmm. And this was with the theme, we can become bitter or better as a result of our experience?
Yes.
Okay, experiences. All right, excellent. Shiloh, tell us about your experience and how you did this as a solo or you're part of the team as well?
Actually, my teammate could not be here today, unfortunately. I had originally not planned to enter the competition, but like Dana mentioned earlier, our school encourages us to compete in academic competitions and, test our limits and see what we're capable of. So when my teammate Jasmine, she had proposed to me to enter the competition, and we did it together. Like you mentioned, the prompt was you become bitter or better as a result of your experiences. So we did a little screenplay about, I had failed the test and I was planning to drop out of school, a situation that many high schoolers may be familiar with. So yeah, and then Jasmine, she came and she told me her experience of, not doing so well in school. And she was essentially saying, you shouldn't give up over this one experience. Don't let this experience make you bitter. Instead, learn from it and allow yourself to grow and not make the same mistakes you made in the past.
Mm-hmm. Wow. All right, so tell us about how you did it. You did it with the real cameras or used phones, or tell us in the editing, how did you do all of this?
Well, we recorded it off of our computer teacher, our IT teacher. He recorded it for us, and we do editing, video editing in school. So it was just a matter of trial and error until we got it right.
A lot of trial and error.
And when we couldn't get something, our teacher, of course, stepped in to help guide us.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was kind of easy because, well, yeah, we had assistants.
Right,
Totally easy
right.
though because I'm no actor.
What about you, Shiloh? Same thing?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing, trial and error. A lot of, bloopers and retakes and all of those different stuff. But yeah, it was definitely a fun experience and I really did enjoy it.
Yeah. What would you say to other students who were like yourselves, looking at this and saying, "Oh, next year I'm going to do this"? And what would you do to encourage them? What would you say to encourage them to do it?
Basically, just go for it. You never know what you're capable of until you try. Valia and I, we aren't we're not the people to really go out there. Well, I'm not a person who really go out there and be all public with it, but Valia encouraged me, and the same day that she came to me, I was going to her to tell her we need to enter in this competition. Listen, it's our last year. We just got to go for it. And so that happened, and we end up winning, and we didn't expect it to happen. So you never know what you're capable of until you try and you really go out there. Don't set yourself in a box, and don't let anybody tell you what your boundaries are. Just go out there and do your best and do you.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, I originally didn't plan to enter the competition, but because, these types of competitions aren't really my type of ball game, but I decided to step out of my comfort zone, and obviously it paid off. I encourage students out there who may not necessarily, be the best actor or the best writer. Just, try it. You never know what can happen, and you might come out successful.
Yeah. And Landy, what about you? I mean, UB students got a lot going on. Why should they enter something like this?
I echo their sentiments. In terms of giving it a shot. You never know what you're capable of. I always knew I was a good writer, but I wasn't confident enough to compete. But I was encouraged by friends and family, and that also shows the important role those who we have in our circle play. But I was encouraged to do so, and I did, and I won. So I'm proud of that, and I would encourage everyone to give it a shot.
That is wonderful. Congratulations again. This is great stuff. And are you all graduates now? Is that, yeah?
Graduated
yesterday.
Oh, well, congratulations. What are you all up to now? What's next?
We're both going off to college. Well, I'm going to College of St. Benedict in Minnesota, go Bennies. I want to major in biology, minor in Chinese, and a pre-professional in engineering.
Oh, my. Impressive. All right.
And I will be going to the University of Bahamas.
Okay.
Mangoes. Yeah, I will be
Excellent.
Mangoes. And I'm going to study, I'm going to go into education, and I'm going to minor in psychology.
Oh, wonderful stuff. What about you, Charlotte? What do you do?
I still have one more year
One more
before
year.
I graduate. Unfortunately.
Don't rush it. You
Yeah, definitely. But I do plan to pursue computer engineering when I do go off to university.
And Landy, how much longer do you be?
I've graduated
Okay.
this semester.
Congratulations.
I'm going into teaching in August. Thank
Excellent.
you very much. I'm also looking into becoming an author, published author.
This is wonderful stuff. We are very encouraged by all of you. The future is looking bright. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's nice being here.
We're going to take a break and be back with more on the Loss of Life essay competition after this. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
The summer you deserve is here at Alive. Capture more moments and go further with our prepaid plans for everyone. Roam free with postpaid and stay connected with Wi-Fi on the go, anywhere, anytime. We do it better with even more device offerings, accessories, exclusive deals with the list, and so many opportunities to win big. From travel vouchers to grocery vouchers, Alive merch, and more. Start your summer with us this Saturday here in Nassau, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, and Abaco. Visit Alive's social media pages for more information. Alive. Believe in best.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
RBC has been growing with the Bahamas for over 110 years with new ways to bank better. We are committed to deepening our relationship with existing clients and forging new ones in the future with new products and services and investment in the community, youth, and education initiatives. We are here to help you grow.
We're here to help you flourish. We're RBC.
RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts,
turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Valpo Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Crystal Cruises is setting sail for the Bahamas once again. Crystal will follow the strictest safety protocols as guests travel to Exuma, San Salvador, Long Island, and more. With a commitment to keep communities and guests safe and protect the environment, the Bahamas will boost tourism and support the local economy. Learn more at crystalcruises.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
And we are back with Morning Blend. We've got about 30 seconds. We've got Lisa Wright from Ministry of Education with us. So what is next? I'm sure it's only a few months to prepare for next year.
Definitely. We're continuing going Dwight. So we're getting ready now to launch our 2022 competition, which will be launched the end of November. So look for it. Watch us on Facebook, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We are really into the social media, so all of these wonderful videos and essays that were spoken about this morning, you can watch them on YouTube, you can see them on our website, and watch for the launching. So students in grades 5 through 12 and college up to age 25, but you must be enrolled in a local institution.
Right.
Look out for us. We're coming again, so we're looking for bigger and brighter things moving forward.
And it was very impressive. Great work to the schools out there, to all the students, I'm sure the parents as well. Wonderful stuff, encouraging, feeling pretty good after hearing those encouraging words. So much of these.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Stephen, we're going to be back in a few minutes with Morning Blend Business. We're going to be talking about sexual harassment and more in the workplace, a big topic that's coming up after the break. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Government has had to borrow additional COVID vaccines from at least one Caribbean country, due in part to the delay in delivery of that third tranche of vaccines, which this country was expecting from the COVAX facility. Two senior government officials confirmed that development to the Nassau Guardian. It's unclear how many doses remain in country at this point to service the vaccinations program until the end of the month, when the next shipment of vaccines is expected. Government has already reduced the number of vaccination sites in New Providence, as well as their hours of operation. In other news, government has developed a point system by which to assess the eligibility of applicants for its new Prospect Ridge subdivision for young professionals. Application guidance notes released yesterday indicate that Bahamians 25 years of age and younger, as well as those with no other land ownership who make under $80,000 a year and those who work for government, will receive more points than other applicants, increasing their chances of being selected. A committee for the development will compile a list of successful candidates, but policymakers will decide who gets those plots. The application process opened yesterday and will remain active for the next 6 weeks. And even though Tropical Storm Elsa is expected to skirt the Bahamas to the south this weekend, the Met Office says the system will still bring wind and rain to our southern and central islands around Sunday as it moves west. Residents are advised to keep monitoring the system in case there is a shift in its path. That storm is expected to impact Haiti by Sunday and South Florida by next Tuesday. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. The Taliban is tweeting its approval after the U.S. military left Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, the heart of the fight against the Taliban and al-Qaeda after 9/11. Our Charles de Ledesma is overseas.
The withdrawal from Bagram Airfield is the clearest indication that the last of the 2,500 to 3,500 U.S. troops have left Afghanistan or are nearing a departure, months ahead of President Joe Biden's promise that they will be gone by September 11.
A star Florida high school quarterback playing for Georgia University has died after more than 50 gunshots were fired into the car he was driving in Pensacola. Ladarius Clardy was 18 years old. A search underway for suspects. Florida officials working on plans now to tear down what's left of that partially collapsed condo building. The search and rescue effort's still underway. I'm Rita Foley.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good for nothing.
You say that? You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there cause the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send pictures direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas, then pick install and it will go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons?
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Loss Adjusters.
Final moments now before 9 this morning, and there was a mad dash for the crowd in the streets. East Street got a lot heavier with the rides coming in from the south. Slowdowns and delays still on the north lane, especially heading into the Independence Drive roundabout. Prince Charles Drive got heavier. It's a slower ride now coming into the city along that route and getting through the traffic lights onto Marathon. Eastern Road, the ride out now finally slowed down with consistent flow heading out onto Village Air. And when we look at the west, well, you can see the West Bay Street right into the city now is a continuous traffic flow. You're riding the brakes the entire ride in. And alas, we've got to wait to see what happens at Gladstone Road, Samalabala Highway, and Carmichael Road. Those hefty, serious delayed traffic lines still stuck over there behind the stop sign trying to get out. It's just part of what happens for the morning commute. That's what it seems like. Fortunately, the weather, not as challenging too as yet. We still got sunshine breaking through this morning. And we know it's a Friday, and we know these Fridays are notorious for having heavy traffic flows all day. So we're going to watch and see how this all comes out throughout the remainder of the day. But for now, we're still stuck behind those southwest gateways trying to get on out into the city. This National Traffic Report is a service of Garden of Eden, where you can enjoy the best boiled stew on the island. They've got delicious Bahamian breakfast every morning from Thursday through Sunday from 7:30, served with grits or Johnny cake. Today, they've got peas and grits with snapper and 2 sides on the menu for lunch. That's the Garden of Eden in Eastwood. You can call them at 819-5574 for easy pickup directions and orders. That's 819-5574. With your around the sky, look at traffic in real time. I'm VA Double Ad.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday. Blended listeners, I am Dwight Strachan, joined by Stephen Hanna on this Friday morning. And today we are going to talk about sexual harassment and more in the workplace in light of some developments locally and in light of Bill Cosby being released, and that continues to be a massive problem all over the world. This morning, we are very pleased to have back with us a good friend to us here, a great friend to us here on Guardian Radio, Simone Bowe, a human resource professional and an expert on many, many issues. Simone, it is always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always good to be in your company, Dwight and Stephen. Morning.
All right, so let's begin with a definition of sexual harassment, because that seems to be an issue for some people. They don't know that what they are experiencing or doing is sexual harassment. So what generally do we or should we consider sexual harassment?
Sexual harassment is any unwanted, and I want to stress, underline, bold, unwanted advance, request for a favor, or some need to fulfill, to obtain something that someone wants. Anything of that nature is considered sexual harassment. And it could be a one-time act, or it could be a repeated act. Unwanted.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if the person is a superior, is a supervisor or a boss. It doesn't matter at all. If it's unwanted, especially in the workplace, that's what it is.
Make it worse, wouldn't it?
If it's a boss or supervisor?
Yes.
Absolutely, because we
would.
have combined now the abuse of power, and this is what I've talked about when you are asking for something sexual in exchange for something else. So, for instance, if you want this job, if you want this promotion, if you want weekends off, then you need to do this for me, and I'll do this for you. Mm-hmm. It's still harassment.
Yeah. Do we, in your professional opinion, do we have a big problem with this here in the Bahamas, especially in light of when I started working, realizing just how, I'm going to use the word jovial, friendly, flirty. I wanted to say how sexual everybody seemed to be, but offices around here really do get pretty friendly. Does this create more problems?
Yes, it does. And we have, you are right. Our culture, I think, lends to both hypersexuality as well as behaviors that cross the line for some people. And we just call it culture. When we use terms of endearment, sweetie, honey, sweet girl, all of these, big man, all these other things, all of those things can feel like harassment to someone that, I go back to again, does not want to be referred to in those terms. And so this is where some companies have even implemented policies around dating at work, around harassment policy, so that it is a part of the work culture that we do not do certain behaviors here. So it's important to establish what those lines of communication are, what is acceptable behavior, and to put that in writing, have people sign off on it, put it in your employee handbook, so that at the end of the day, there's a recourse. I want to jump ahead of, I'm sure, what you're going to say. So
I want to go back to what you said. So, I mean, is it important for the company to do that as opposed to individuals saying, hey, I don't like you calling me sweetie, or touching my shoulder like that, or touching me at all? Is it important for the company to come out and say this?
Yes.
Yes,
it is.
Stephen is like, yes. Absolutely. I think it's a shared responsibility. So as an individual, you have the right to say what you like, what you don't like, happening to you, with you, whatever, to establish it as a culture going forward. And we know that sometimes we have the written and the unwritten, right? We have the policies, but we have the practice. So we could have policies, but we still have people violating those policies and nothing is done about it. But once you have it in writing, again, it gives you a more comfortable feeling as an employee that if someone, for instance, I've spoken to them and maybe more than once, and I told them, look, I don't like this behavior, so forth, that there is a path that I can follow, a procedure that I can follow to let people know that this policy is being violated toward me.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's important because what you have is if the company has a policy about it, if the company explicitly says it, not just in a book, but they make sure that they have either every 6 months or once a year, we just want to go over this stuff so that everybody is aware of it. We had some new people join, we had some people leave. We just want to make sure everybody is on the same page so they all know this stuff, because what you don't want is somebody complains to HR that they feel uncomfortable about advances, and nobody's read the handbook, right? And so I say, hey, we just know that there's some of the female employees that feel uncomfortable with the way that you do X, Y, and Z, and it would be best if you didn't do this. We try to keep it a safe work environment, and now all of a sudden people be like, oh, you can't call certain people sweetie, or I hope I ain't standing too close to people. And I've witnessed things like that happen in companies where it's like a young female employee complains to HR about an older male colleague, and then later on they're walking around like, oh, I hope nobody in here feel like I'm harassing them or whatever. And so it's like it defeats the purpose. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if the company seems to be on board, then I feel like it's going to be better than it just seeming like, oh, that's a young girl and she don't know how to take a joke. That's just how we just talk to each other inside this place. I know why she care none of that. Or vice versa, because a lot of these women, they handsy too, but that's
those are great.
There is a very important point, Stephen, because it really just can't be words on a page. And you're right. People only read the handbook when they have a problem. And then they go flip to that section to see what the...
Because you teeth in my vacation days. You teeth in my vacation days.
Let me see what this policy say about vacation.
Right.
Nobody really cares. So ongoing training is critical. And I can tell you that I have done quite a bit, and it seems that it's increased. Companies asking for this type of training because, again, these behaviors aren't acceptable. And so not only training on the policy as far as what it speaks to and the expected behaviors that you want at work, but also training of managers. So that person clearly was out of line. And trying to make a point. He's being petty, right? And that's also inappropriate, and that's not becoming of a leader in an organization. And I've seen that all too many times, even in the training, you would have people saying, oh, come on, that's not harassment. That's just the same thing. And even beyond sexual harassment, we have bullying, right? So a lot of these negative behaviors come together, right? So I can bully you and sexually harass you and then say, well, this is just a part of the job. If you can't handle this, then, you don't even have a right to be in this department.
Right.
Like, how do we get to hazing to be a part of work? Like, you have to be initiated to be accepted in a department. And so that's why we're seeing diversity, equity, and inclusion conversations and policies and training, because it is sorely needed. And it's just so much negative behavior that we just come to accept, but it's really abusive.
Wow.
Right.
All right. So we mentioned.
I had a follow-up
Go
question.
on. Yep. Let's go on.
Because, so my question, Simone, is then, all right, so what do you say to the persons who are like, well, I don't have an issue with somebody calling me sweetie. I don't have an issue with this gal coming around, rubbing up on my arm in the middle of work. You know what I'm saying? I feel, if anything, this gives me further motivation to complete my job quickly. But other people find it in poor taste, or they find it to be harassment. What do you say to that person in that circumstance? The person who doesn't have an issue with it.
Right. And there's a lot of that too. And especially when we say that harassment goes both ways, and guys would say, "Babe, something wrong with you, babe. You don't want somebody harassing you."
No,
I ain't
no,
care.
no.
You know, that kind of way.
Okay, go ahead.
Women may say
have
that as well.
I have a real issue with it because it's like it is the height of. I feel like you calling me stupid. When like every time I've had a female coworker ask me to do something for them, and they had to touch my forearm and rub it. It's like, why are you touching me? And they'd be like, "What you mean?" It's like, no. It's like you can just ask. It's my job to make a video. It's my job to record this audio for you. There's no reason for you to physically touch me because I'll be like, if I go into, imagine me going to a reporter say, "I need you to record some audio for me," and I giving them a back rub.
Right.
That's highly inappropriate.
Some will say that happens every day. Some will say that happens every day.
It does. It happens every day.
And it's almost like you saying, but for men, it's like because there's this perception that men are such hypersexual creatures that we are led by our genitals. That the minute a woman touches you, that you could do whatever she say, and it's like, no.
Well, is that what it is necessarily?
That's how I interpret it because the thing is, it's always people. The people who do it are people who usually wouldn't talk to you on a day-to-day basis, and so they feel like, okay, I got to turn on the charm, and by charm, it's something slightly sexual, so that this person could do something. So it's like I'm using my feminine wiles to manipulate you into doing this work for me, and it's like, but if that's my job, just ask me to do it, and I can do it.
Exactly.
And so it's like to me, I'm actually insulted when like you flirting with me to get me to do something that is my job already. Now, if you flirt with me outside of the workplace, that's a different situation. But like, it feel like you're trying to manipulate me now.
But that's called it, and I think that in the same light, men need to also step up. And I know a lot of men that feel the same way that you do. And the sad part about it is, again, our culture says that you're not a real man for saying that.
Right.
And so it makes men even more uncomfortable about speaking up about abuses and other things, other violations, you know? And so in a case like that, I think people also have to realize that even if the harassment isn't happening to you, someone around you could still feel harassed by your behaviors. So just because someone comes and rubs on your arm and you enjoy it, other people around you like, hey, I didn't come to work to witness all of this stuff. And I don't like it. You could still be reported.
Yeah.
Even though you could say, I don't feel harassed in this moment. Someone else around you could say, hey, I don't like all of this sexual behavior around me at work. It makes me uncomfortable. And please do something about it.
Yeah.
And you could still be dealt with based on that.
And I'm sure some.
Let's just keep things professional. Like Stephen said, if whatever you choose to do in your own time, you do in your own time. But when we're at work, we have certain standards and behaviors that we want to be governed by.
Well, yeah, as you said,
it'd be no different than drinking. Like it's some people are like, oh, but I should be able to say, no, just wait till after work, and then you could do whatever, frolic and drink. But like, you don't do that on the premises.
Yep.
Even though it doesn't bother you.
As you say, Simone, it is culture, because some will say as well, and it's unfortunate that many women feel they'll have to do that to get something done. It's just, wow, what are we teaching our young people? And it's scary.
And I was just going to say that it's how we are being taught and conditioned. It's our social conditioning. These things, when we challenge them, when we really sit and think about them.
What happened? Did we lose Simone? Uh-oh.
And she was telling the truth.
Oh, boy.
The people don't want us to hear.
All right, we're going to try to reconnect with Simone. Yeah. And let's take the break then. Let's take the break now. When we come back, hopefully we'll get Simone back. And we'll talk about what happens when it is a supervisor or the boss that is mixed up in the harassment.
You need to record them and destroy the company.
Okay, well, that's a lot of people who could lose their jobs as well. But hey, anyway,
take them all down.
Let's see. We'll be back after the break. Is Simone back with us? Yeah, then we'll take the break. You're saying this is the way we train our young people. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was saying that a lot of this is social conditioning. And people feel like, and maybe it has worked for them in the past, and so they teach it. They say, if you want to get something, you gotta, exactly what Stephen was saying. You gotta turn on the charm. You gotta do whatever you need to do, and that's why certain people dress in a suggestive way, because they're trying to prove a point or make something happen. And the same in reverse.
Yeah.
If you could be considered a man, then you gotta act a certain way. You gotta be aggressive. You gotta force yourself. No doesn't really mean no. These are the things that we're taught, and unless we challenge these beliefs, these limiting beliefs and myths, really, we're really gonna have a problem as we continue in our workplaces.
Let's take this call and then we'll take that break. Good morning, caller. Okay, nope. Call us back 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. And here we go. Let's take this one. Good morning, caller. You are live on Morning Blend Business.
Good morning, Glenn. How are you?
Doing well.
Wonderful. Simone has been referring to the person as she always. You're speaking about man and woman.
She's been back and forth, but okay.
Yes, but what I'm talking about is that this happens to men also on the job.
Yes.
What happens when there's a straight man? Okay, he's got 3 bosses, 2 heterosexual, 1 homosexual. What does the straight man do? He goes to the homosexual and he manipulates him, gets what he wants. Okay, and what happens then when that's noticed by management and they shift his role or job description, and there's no more homosexuals to ask to, then stuff begins to happen, and then he cries out, "I've been sexually molested on the job." Okay. See, we go over the world and we see what happens to other people and we talk their story. That's happening right here, right now in the union. I want to know why didn't the union take that matter to court? Okay, or why did the individual didn't take the matter to court?
Yes, I was wondering the same thing.
Because here it is. That's no secret here in our country. Okay, this thing happens every day, and the worst thing is happening right now is happening to our younger people. Okay, and they're thinking that this is the norm. You don't have to sleep with somebody to get a weekend off. Okay, you don't have to sleep with somebody to get a promotion. Okay, and it's totally wrong. Our morale, and we must teach our children you don't have to have sex to get anything from anybody. That's why we send you to school. Okay, to qualify yourself. Okay, sorry for changing the conversation.
No, you didn't. We were talking about both sides.
I just wanted to be real. Okay, BPL knows what's going on.
Okay, now you get into that there. All right. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Not just happening there. I'm sure. Okay. We've been talking about both, right? We've been talking about both, and we will continue to do that after the break. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Let's take that break, and we'll be back. Stay with us.
Young teacher, the subject of schoolgirl fantasy. She wants him so badly, knows what she wants to be. Inside her, there's longing. This girl's an open page, bookmarking. She's so close now. This girl is half his age. Don't stand so close to me. Don't stand so close to me. Her friends are so jealous. You know how.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Beulah, gal, can you believe this? We are now the patrol queens of the neighborhood.
We now large and in charge, so we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too?
Of course we can.
But we could be in deep trouble if they find out.
We need to report what we see, Beulah. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami.
So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which, got a piece with the loud music and the motorcycles.
Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody gonna want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal.
So what we waiting on? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crack Crime Bahamas app. Stop the crime before it's your time.
Did you know that Cash and Go mobile wallet is secured with an OTP code? Each time there is an attempt to log in your app, a random 6-digit PIN is sent to the mobile number on file. Because at Cash and Go, we value your safety.
You can do it at Cash and Go. Pay all your bills at Cash and Go. Send your money from Cash and Go. Top up your minutes. Cash and Go. Pay insurance at Cash and Go. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's at Cash and Go.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The Ministry of Finance revealing in a statement that the Bahamas has formally expressed its support for the G20 and OECD's plan for a global tax system, which could impose a minimum of 15% corporate tax on companies with gross annual earnings about $750 million or more. According to the statement, the country's support for this inclusive framework on base erosion and profit shifting to reform the global taxation system aligns with the Bahamian government's pursuit of tax fairness and equity. The statement says that these proposals and the accompanying rules for international taxation are geared at addressing the tax challenges arising from the digitization of the global economy. The statement also says the government has at the same time lodged reservations particular to the Bahamas, and as a member of the inclusive framework, the country has actively participated in the development of these measures and has ardently articulated the legitimacy of jurisdictions such as the Bahamas. It says it views these measures as a viable option for ensuring that small jurisdictions benefit from any measure to tax entities operating within its jurisdiction. Yesterday, U.S. President Joe Biden's administration claimed victory for 130 countries backing this initiative. Managing consultant with Next Level Solutions, Hubert Edwards says these kinds of announcements could prove to be disruptive and should move the conversation forward on the future of tax reform in the Bahamas. Bahama President Graham Davis says the resort is forecasting it will exceed its 2019 occupancy levels based on the high demand and bookings trends seen since June. Following a tour of Bahamar's new $200 million Bahama, Graham Davis saying that starting in June and for every month for the rest of 2021, the resort will be exceeding 2019 occupancy, and that's without group business. Group business is not really returning until the fall, late in quarter 3 into quarter 4. But he says they're very optimistic, and the staff is excited. BPL is among the least expensive power utilities in the region, according to a new Caribbean Electric Utility Services Corporation tariff report. BPL's charges are compared with 16 other utilities around the region, including the Grand Bahama Power Company. According to Cadillac, the typical electricity bills are indicative of the electricity tariffs across the key classes of electricity consumers in the wider Caribbean region. You can read more on these stories in today's Guardian Business section. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Thursday, AML Foods Limited moving 1,000 shares, closing down 50 cents to $6. Bank of the Bahamas moving 230, unchanged at 144. Doctors Hospital moving 700, unchanged at 776. Consolidated Water up 2 cents to 237. Emira Incorporated down 3 cents to $11.06. The BISX All Share Index closing at 1,970.53, down 2.28. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future.
You tell me it gets better in time. You say I pull myself together, pull it together, you'll be fine. Tell me what the hell do you know, what do you know? Tell me how the hell could you know, how could you know? Till it happens to you, you don't know how it feels, how it feels. Till it happens to you, you won't know, it won't be real. No, it won't be real. Won't know how it feels.
That is extremely depressing. Welcome back to Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Straw along with Stephen Hanna. We're talking with Simone Bowe, a human resource professional, talking about sexual harassment in the workplace, and it does get depressing. People really do, especially if it is your boss, your superior, your supervisor. You do feel that I have to possibly go along with this because I could lose this job. It is awful. Let's talk about it when it's somebody of importance who can really make some decisions that can influence your work life.
Is that a question?
Did we lose? Yes. Simone, did we lose you again? Is she there? Uh-oh.
I think we lost. I think she's in the ether.
I think.
But Dwight, come on, like these power hungry individuals who may have never had friends growing up in high school suddenly become somebody manager, and now they feel like they lord over your life. It's like you some of these people just get offended when you tell them no, and so it's like it is a very precarious position that persons are put into when it's like, do I stop this person's advances in its track and risk getting them upset? Because I've seen what happens if somebody tell them, oh no, I can't work this weekend because I have a child at home, and they freak out on that. So imagine something like this. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, for that reason, somebody who is above you who is higher in the hierarchy of the workplace, right? Whether that person is your direct manager or a supervisor or an executive, and you don't even work in the same department, that person should not be fraternizing with any of the line staff. They shouldn't be talking to anybody that's not lateral to them. Because there is an implied coercion, if only for the sake that the person is beneath you in status in the company. And so it's like that person does not have the same freedom as somebody who is your peer to tell you yes, no, and talk to you any sort of way. So it's like you guys aren't coming on equal footing. So it's already problematic.
I am.
Oh, okay. There we go. It's not the power company causing problems for you.
Is it? I thought Simone, you don't live in Freeport?
No.
Oh, okay, my bad.
All right.
That's just in the line of the free, my bad.
So as we say, we're talking about when it is your boss who's doing this, when it is your supervisor, somebody who can really make decisions that can influence your experience at work entirely, how much more difficult this becomes.
It's extremely difficult because, unfortunately, there is also a culture where companies tend to believe management. And sometimes they can collude. And so if an employee comes with a complaint, oftentimes they're not supported. And again, this is why there needs to be proper structure in the organization for everyone to feel supported. Because the tricky thing about harassment is, and I heard the caller talk about why victims don't come forward, why people didn't file a complaint, is it's sometimes very challenging to prove. You have to have very strong evidence. You need to have witnesses and all that sort of thing. And so sometimes it feels very difficult when you're coming up against management, and not just the management team, because the company is looking at how is this going to look? This doesn't look right. So you need a supportive culture to say, we're going to deal with this. We don't support this type of thing. We have zero tolerance. We don't care who it is. We're not going to protect our buddies, but we are going to ensure that we properly investigate the matter and bring it forward. And so if people don't feel comfortable doing that, they're not going to. And this is why we have a lot of cases that just get swept under the rug. People just feel, I'll just have to suffer through this. People quit jobs without telling people why. I mean, all of that because they just feel really it's difficult to come up against someone that has the power over my job.
But what happens when they do? Okay, they do act. The harassment stops, but you do. I think, as the caller might have been suggesting, you do end up getting the bum schedule. You do get all the weekend shifts. You do end up working over midnight and all the holidays. And what do you do?
Boss should have never asked you out in the first place, because now every time the boss reprimand you, you could be like, just because I ain't give him none.
Exactly.
And so it's like it is. Sorry, go ahead.
So no, go ahead.
But never should happen is crazy things happen.
No, I'm saying
it shouldn't happen, but it does happen. So
I hear what you're saying, but here's the thing, Dwight. Right? It's the same way where it's like we can't. There are certain excuses that the further up you go, the more you are compensated within an organization, the less you can use that excuse.
But let's not pretend that there are a bunch of people around here who have indeed married. Hold on, they have indeed married their bosses, right? It did start off like that, and the boss did shoot a shot, as they say, and well, look at this now.
Yeah, but then again, don't forget that I know people whose grandfather married their grandmother when she was 13. Things used to happen, and that used to be okay.
That would still
happen. That is no longer okay. I'm saying that the grandfather wasn't 13. The grandfather was like 18, and the grandmother was 13. All right? And it's like that was okay 90 years ago, 70 years ago, even 60 years ago. But as of today, 2021, it is not okay. So it's like the fact that somebody married their boss a year ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whenever they did it, now that we have the knowledge that this is a problem, this is problematic, that if you see somebody and you so believe in your heart that this is your hallmark romance, then you should be willing to take the leap of faith and you ask for a transfer out of that department so that you are not directly above that person. You should at least say, well, let me go look for a job somewhere else since I know this the one. But if you ain't sure that's the one and this might just be a fling, then leave that alone. Because that ain't you talking. That's your libido talking.
Yeah, and you have to be so careful. It's risky, right? I mean, and yes, we do have office romances or workplace romances, and they do turn out well. I know people who met their spouse at work and they're happily married and all of that good stuff, but it's risky. It's risky because you have to really know the people. You have to know their maturity level, because everybody is sweetness and light until things go bad. And when things go bad, people get ugly. And I'm not talking about their physical appearance. I'm talking about their behavior. And I've known of people who have gotten terminated because they had a relationship with an employee and that employee felt harassed because, you're trying to make back up or something went wrong or whatever, and they reported you for harassment, aside from the fact that y'all had a relationship. But now they feel like, you've brought this onto work. I don't want to have to deal with you on this level anymore at work. And now there's a problem. And now you're out of a job. So what Stephen is saying, very wise, that you have to take all of those things into account. This is why we have policies where you should not manage people who are family members and well, as we say in the Bahamas, friends, family, and lovers, right? This is the reason for that, because it's the perception and it's the reality. It's the perception for the people in the department that they doing the thing, so that's why she got that great review. That's why she got that bonus.
Right.
Or he. Let me keep it balanced, right? So I don't get in trouble again.
Right. But like Simone, like I was saying to Dwight before, when you got disconnected, I was like, it's one thing if you're lateral, but it's a whole other thing if you're in the hierarchy. Like, there's no way for you to know at what point this became okay, because that is you approaching your subordinate itself is a problem.
That's a problem.
You cannot approach your subordinate at all. Like, it don't even matter if you approach them properly with 100 roses and a mariachi band. This is inappropriate because you are this person's boss, right? Like, that's like, and I hate to draw the illusion or the comparison, but people be like, Thomas Jefferson and his slave Sally had a consensual relationship. No, they didn't. He legally owned her. It's like even if she enjoyed his companionship, he owned her. There's no way for her to give consent, right? And so it's like, if a person has so much power over you, at some point, like, your level of consent is diminished by that.
Yep.
And so it's like that you, as a boss, you should not be looking at any of your employees and saying, I could talk to this one, or I could ask this one out and see what she in. No, or see what he into.
Let's get some calls in. You can call us 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, or text us 422-4796. Simone Bo, have you noticed any changes since the Me Too movement took off in the U.S.? Are we seeing any changes here? Any companies that have adjusted their policies? Any Bahamians looking at this matter through some different lenses now?
Yes, as I mentioned, I saw an uptick in companies wanting to implement policy around it and wanting to have training around it. But again, I don't know if it's as widespread as it needs to be. So I think that we still need more because we're battling culture.
Yeah.
We're battling behaviors that for many, many, many years have been deemed as going to find ways to cope with it.
This text here says some employees have already made up their minds to do whatever they need to succeed or reach their goals. Oh boy. And this other text, great show as usual. A lot of sex goes on in the work environment for promotions. So there's two people with similar views there or perceptions there. We said this earlier. It seems to be the culture. You got to play and then you get the pay. I don't know. What do we do? What do we do if this is the way it seems to go in so many of our companies? Oh, is that it? Okay.
That must be why I broke.
What do we do, Simone? Oh, no, not again. Did we lose her again?
No,
oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, what was the last part
I
of
was
that?
saying, what do we do? We've got so many people who just see it as that's how it is. You know, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I think, it's sad, but sometimes we have to get to that point of almost being a martyr. Like, what is it going to take from me to stand up for what's right, even if I'm the lone voice? And I have a friend who went through something like that, and she never minds me sharing about it because it was such a painful time of her life. And I always share it when I can because and the true ramifications of this behavior.
Yeah.
So she had that experience. Her boss was sexually harassing her. I think, verbally. See, and again, people have to understand that it isn't just touch, right? It's what people say that could also be harassment or what they want to show you, right? Whether it's pictures or their actual body parts or whatever it is.
Wow.
So she felt harassed by conversation that he would have with her. And she told him about it. And nothing happened. And so she reported it. She reported it for harassment. And they did an investigation and everything. But it was not long after that she was terminated. And if that were not bad enough, as she tried to apply for other positions, she found that she just was not getting any hits. And she's very qualified, master's degree, all of that stuff. And up to a year, not getting another job or anything. Until someone where she applied told her, just on the side, she said, I just wanted you to know, this is what your former employer is saying about you. They're saying that you're crazy. And so it not only impacted her job in that moment, but it impacted her career to the point where she had given up on finding a job in that area where she was qualified.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to leave her home with her child because she was living on a family island. She had to leave the family island, come down here to New Providence with her child, separate the family, go back to school to get qualified in another career area.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, look at the impact that had. So that's like a year or two of commuting and separation and just a whole new environment for her child to have to deal with and everything else. Fortunately, there's a happy ending to it, and she was able to go back home and be gainfully employed and all of that. But look at what it took.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
So we have to be prepared to stand up, and I believe that as HR professionals, we have to do our part to be guardians of this. And sad to say, sometimes we're not.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are the worst offenders because we're not protecting both organization and employee.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we are a part of the problem as HR professionals. Someone who's giving you need to say that this person is crazy and she's trying to get another job. She's already out of your organization. Why are you trying to destroy the person? So we have to.
That's how it be sometimes.
Wow.
We have to stop it.
Let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing well.
Interesting conversation. But do for public health because also self-employment, like the lady said when it comes to HR, it's a few and a lot of
I'm not sure what's happening. We're having a really hard time making out what you're saying.
Are you on speakerphone, or can you come closer to the phone?
Sounds
you hear
good.
me now?
It's a little bit better.
Okay, like I was saying, this is where we can because even in the government corporation, private corporation, people are crying out to the union, because of the youth and the workplace. The people who serve me, and the saddest part about it is that when the union was intervening in these cases and stuff like that, the human resource department is no human resource department inside the organization.
Caller, thank you very much. We're having a real problem hearing you, but I think I understand you saying human resources. Same thing Simone just said. That's really challenging, and it's disturbing how little support you will get from that department. Let's take this call.
Because human resources' job is to resource the humans. It's like just because we don't have a department, it's the same thing as a pencil resource department. Right? It's like their job is to make sure they know where all the pencils are. Are the pencils sharpened? Do you need new pencils? Human resources is not a replacement for a union. Human resources is to take care of the quote unquote property of the company. In this case, the human resource of the company.
Well, in a sick company, yes. So
in all companies,
not all. They don't. Right, Simone? They don't all have to be like that.
Name one,
I'm
Dwight.
sure wherever Simone is at now, they're doing a much better job, right, Simone Bo?
No, Nick, go ahead. Name one. Okay, so take the call.
Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Di, we can hear you. Oh, okay. Let's take the other one. Good morning, caller. We can hear ourselves. Are you there?
Yeah. You know what happening now too is the pandemic now can cause a lot of problems in the workplace too, because now they're using it now.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're using it now to say people are, you ain't been working for a year or 2 years or this and that. And so the harassment is becoming hard on these workplaces too. And the next thing is too, what happens to a lot of these ladies who had babies for these ex-pac, like big time boss who come over for a little while, and then a lot of them have babies for them, and then they do their friends and then going through it and everything and all, and then some of them still calling it up. And what happened too, a lot of these women now these days and back in the days, they feel like if they having sex with the boss or know the boss, like it gives them adrenaline, And it happened with me growing up too, and seeing like, I knew the girl, and find out she liking the boss. So she feels, she running around the place on the job, like she's so highly up and this and that and all that. So a lot of these women put themselves in the position of that. And then when these ex-partners and the other sports find out with the other friends who been with these ladies, they spread it. So the whole of all the boss know that this girl is pretty and this and that. So a lot of women put themselves in this position.
Wow. Okay. All right, caller. Interesting. There, we got to take a really quick break. This is Morning Blend Business brought to you. Pay your BAF insurance premium in the new Cash and Go mobile wallet. Download today in the Google Play or App Store and avoid the long lines. We're going to be back with more after this quick break.
Did you know that Cash and Go mobile wallet is secured with an OTP code? Each time there is an attempt to log in your app, a random 6-digit PIN is sent to the mobile number on file. Because at Cash and Go, we value your safety.
You can do it at Cash and Go. Pay all your bills at Cash and Go. Send your money from Cash and Go. Top up your minutes. Cash and Go. Pay insurance at Cash and Go. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's at Cash and Go.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
And we've got a quick look at weather for you. Tropical storm Elsa, now a hurricane in Barbados, are expected elsewhere in the hurricane warning area, which is most of the eastern Caribbean. Tropical storm conditions expected later this morning in portions of the Windward and Leeward Islands, and tropical storm conditions are expected and hurricane conditions are possible over southern portions of Hispaniola. By Saturday, tropical storm conditions are possible over Jamaica by Saturday night, and heavy rainfall from Elsa will move quickly across the Windward and southern Leeward Islands today, including Barbados, and outer bands will impact Puerto Rico late Tuesday and Saturday. There's a risk of wind and rainfall in portions of Cuba, the Turks and Caicos, and the Bahamas through early next week, and interest in these areas, including the Bahamas, should monitor Elsa's progress and updates to the forecast. That's your Morning Blend weather check. And we are wrapping things up. Simone, we're going to give you the final word. What should you do? Is there a simple answer, one that has worked where you've seen it work, where you've been harassed by a boss, by your supervisor, a method that seems to have the less collateral damage?
My thing is we have to report things. And even before reporting things, we need to talk with people. I think that works in a lot of cases where you set boundaries and you communicate them. You don't have to be hostile. You don't have to be super aggressive, but you just state the facts. I don't like this behavior, and I would really appreciate it if you stop. And we have to, on the employer side, create environments where people feel safe psychologically and physically in every aspect. And so how do we do that? We do that through policy, and we do that through practice. We do that through enforcement, and we do that through training. Yeah. So on both ends. And I think finally, people need to practice self-management, self-control.
Absolutely.
Right? A lot of behaviors we don't have to do. If we recognize this is not appropriate, let me keep it professional. I may feel tempted to say this or do this. Don't. You have control over yourself, and practice that measure of control so that we have safe workplaces.
Yeah. We definitely need to do part 2 on this. We're getting so many messages at this last minute here, and we can't read them. Gotta go.
Everything and turn it all down.
Oh, wow. A lot of men coming forward on the text line telling about their stories, what they've had to endure from women, too. And,
because women are the biggest... Anyway,
well,
women are abusive with this as well.
All right, we got to leave it there. So, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Stephen, Hannah, always a pleasure. Thank you. We'll talk to you Monday with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great, safe weekend. Pay attention to the news. We're tracking Elsa. And stay tuned for On the Clock coming up next with Aaron Green.